Ready to go? Thank you. Excuse me. Good morning. In accordance with Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990, as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. My name is Zahir Bayat, and I'll be chairing today's session. Panel members today are Peter Reid, Philip Ghosh, and Dylan Reid, and the Deputy Secretary Treasurer is Sabrina Salatino. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connecting with their computer or telephone and have the option of participating via video or audio only. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Board, or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons, and public bodies are permitted to appeal decisions of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. Today, I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and/or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you are reaching the 5 minutes. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. Then individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Generally, we first call on speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion. The application will then be taken into committee for a decision. Are there any declarations? Oh, I'm sorry, forgot to ask. Are there any minutes for the last meeting to be
Through you, Mr. Chair, we don't have any minutes ready yet for adoption.
Thank you. Are there any declarations of interest of panel or staff?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Item number 6, I have a relative that lives in proximity to that address.
Thank you. At that point, we'll get you to recuse yourself. Are there any deferral requests, Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer?
Through you, Mr. Chair, there are two deferral requests. Item number 14, 754 to 758 Vaughan Road, file number A0427/25TY. And item number 15, 762 to 764 Vaughan Road, file number A0428/25TY. We can hear these two at this time. And through you, Mr. Chair, just so you know, I don't see any files to be closed for this morning's.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, thank you. In that case, we can move on to the two items at hand. And that's item Vaughan Road. So it's items 14 and 15. Just read the purpose of the application. Do we have the agent? Oh, we do. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Through you, Mr. Chair, if you can just read both items into the record.
Perfect. So the purpose of the application, and this, I believe they both are exactly the same, but I'll go through both of them. So purpose of the application is to construct a new 8-story apartment building with one mechanical penthouse above, containing 59 dwelling units with a covered front entrance. The 2nd through 8th stories will be cantilevered at the north portion of the building. 3 front ground floor patios, a rear ground floor outdoor amenity space, and a green roof on the south portion of the 8th story. No automobile parking spaces will be provided on the site. The proposal is subject to a site plan control application, which was not submitted. Bear with me, Vaughan Road. Do I need to read all the submissions as well into record, ma'am? Yep. So I'm not sure if they're both the same, but I'll go through the first one. So the committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, covering letter from the agent received January the 9th, a deferral request received from agent Retz, different agent, received July 21st, 3D rendering from the agent received June the 9th, axonometric drawing received from the agent on June the 9th, rental housing demolition and conversion declaration received June the 17th, a tree inventory and preservation plan report received June the 9th, tree report and preservation plan received, must be a different one, second one by the looks of it, on June the 9th as well. We also have staff reports from strategic planning, from City Planning Department, received July the 23rd. We also have a Metrolinx report received July the 23rd, and a staff report from Transportation Services received July the 24th. We also have correspondence in opposition from the solicitor of the owner of 760 Vaughan Road, received July the 23rd. And moving on to the second one, bear with me. The purpose of the application, I believe this would be for 764 Vaughan Road, is to construct a new 8-story apartment building with one mechanical penthouse above, containing 37 dwelling units with a covered front entrance. The 2nd through 8th stories will be cantilevered at the north portion of the building, 2 front ground floor patios, a rear ground floor outdoor amenity space, and a green roof on the southeast portion of the 8th story. No automobile parking spaces will be provided on the site. The proposal is subject to a site plan control application, which wasn't submitted. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, covering letter from the agent Andrew Feranchik, received on June the 9th, and a deferral request from agent Eric Retz, received on July the 21st. 3D renderings from agent Feranchik on received June the 9th. Axonometric drawing from Andrew Feranchik, received June the 9th. Rental housing demolition and conversion declaration, received on June the 17th. Tree inventory and preservation plan report, received on June the 9th. And a second one received on June the 9th as well. There seem to be two of them. Not sure what the difference is. We also have staff report from City Planning, received July 23rd, and advisory staff report from Metrolinx, received on July the 23rd, and a staff report from Transportation Services, received on July the 24th, and correspondence in opposition from the solicitor on behalf of the owner of 760 Vaughan Road, received July the 23rd. And we have the agent with us. Thank you. If you could please state your name and address, please.
Good morning. My name's Eric Retz, and my address is 170 Sumac Street, Toronto, Ontario. And just wanted to come here today to officially request a deferral for items 14 and 15.
Thank you.
Through you, Chair, we do also have online speakers for this item as well.
In opposition? Yeah.
They will.
Let us know. Thank you. Okay. I wonder if you could just please relate to us the reason for your request.
We had met with community planning and urban design staff on July 14th. We want to work with them to address their comments. So our architects are working right now to address those comments. And we hope to schedule a hearing sometime within the next month or so that do address those comments, in our opinion.
Thank you. Will this also involve any discussion with anybody in opposition?
This is news to me, so I believe that would be part of the plan. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Let's just move on to the person online.
Joseph?
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Oops, we've got a bit of an echo.
Yeah. We're trying to fix that.
Can you please? Hi, Joseph. Can you please turn off the other devices and only have one device that's in front of you, so it's to avoid the echo?
You want to try again?
Hi, Joseph. You have been unmuted.
Yes, perfect. And can you hear me well now?
We can hear you perfectly. If we could have your name and address, please.
Yes, it's Joseph Malmazada, and the address is 7130 Warden Avenue, Toronto, Markham, Ontario. But I'm here on behalf of the owner of 760 Vaughan.
Thank you. As you are probably aware, since you've been listening, we have a request for a deferral. So the question to you is very straightforward. Are you in favor or opposed to a deferral?
I don't oppose the deferral. I'm in favor of it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? That's it. Okay, great. So we just have that one person by the sounds of it. Thank you. We'll take it into committee now and see if there are any questions for you. If not, we'll look for a vote for move to defer. Mr. Reid.
Thanks, Chair. I think the request for deferral is reasonable. The applicant has shown that they're willing to work with to address some of community planning's concerns. So I move that we defer both of these items, number 14 and 15.
Thank you, Mr. Peter Reid. Moves to defer. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Ghosh, thank you. All those in favor of deferral? Thank you. You have your deferral, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next, moving on to item number, I believe we're item number 1. Okay. Bear with me while I get all this. Good morning. Please have a seat while I just do the formalities. Okay, item number 1 is 533 Richmond Street West. The purpose of the application is to alter the existing 10-story condominium building by installing a rooftop patio, including a pergola and swim spa with privacy fencing. The committee had before it the following communications: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 5 photographs of the subject property received May the 30th, 2024, decision number affecting the property, supporting materials from the agent received March the 20th. We also have an advisory staff report from Metrolinx received on July the 22nd. And I don't believe there's anybody in interest for this particular item. And so, welcome. Good morning. If we can have your name and address, please.
Yes, my name is Christopher Barak. I'm the owner of Penthouse 2 at 533 Richmond Street West.
Is your mic on? Is the red light on?
It is now.
Okay, so let's start again, sorry.
Thank you. My name's Christopher Tarak. I'm the owner and applicant of Penthouse 2, 533 Richmond Street West, Toronto, Ontario.
Thank you. Are you also the agent?
I'm not. My project manager, the engineer, Jeff Truman, is the agent. I'm here in order to speak to the committee. It's my first time, so please forgive me if I'm
glad it's your first time. This might be my 10th and still the same. But thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Let me just see if my colleagues require a presentation or if they have any questions for you.
Thank you.
No questions? A question? Mr. Reed.
So just to clarify, is this a private space or is this part of the amenity space for the condo?
No, it's my private rooftop.
Okay, got it. And, okay, great. So sometimes when we get these kinds of requests, we tie it to the site plans and elevations just to make sure that you do what you say and you're not going to build like a whole new thing or anything like that.
Right.
Is that okay with you?
I mean, I'm not sure what that means.
It just means that you build what you've provided us with and not anything more.
Yes, the intention is to seek an exception of, I believe it's 2.5 meters less than
Right.
of the existing applicable law.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, Ms. Ghosh?
Yeah, sure. Have you submitted the plans to your condominium board or?
Yes, I'm on the board. I went through all the proper channels. Despite being on the board, it's a space for my family. I have 2 young children. I believe it aligns with the 4 prerequisites as per the legal test. So we're just trying to better the space. My wife has certain health issues, so it's a very welcomed space for my family.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. That's it? Okay. We'll take it into committee and come up with a decision for you.
Thank you.
Colleagues, anybody want to take this on?
I can. Yeah, I actually used to live in that area. So I know that there was concern about the height of the building when it was first built. And to be honest, I thought originally this was an amenity for the whole condo, not private. But the way it's designed, I don't see it having any significant impact on the street or on the community garden that's across the street, which I know was a concern when this was first built. So I'm happy to move to approve the variances with the condition that it be tied to the site plans and elevations. Because, that kind of height could have more of an impact if something more was built. So I think it's important to do that.
If I could share something with the committee that perhaps,
Sorry, we're in committee.
oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. Sorry, Mr. Ghosh.
Oh, I was just going to second the motion.
Second motion. Okay, thank you. Mr. Dylan Reed has moved to approve with conditions tying to elevations. And Mr. Ghosh has seconded. All those in favor of this application? Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair,
have the-
site plan and elevations, correct? Okay.
Thank you. Well, you're good.
I'm approved?
Yes, you are.
Okay, great. I just want to share with everybody, my building's actually eclipsed by all the surrounding buildings, for those that aren't familiar with the area, so.
Is this an invitation by any chance? Done.
Anytime you come by and give me a call, I'll.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Can I have a form so I can get a copy of the decision, please?
You will receive a copy of the decision as well as the agent.
Oh, thank you.
Because you're an owner.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Have a nice
Thank
day,
you.
everybody.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye. Okay, moving on. Moving on to item number 2. Item number 2 is 241 Church Street. The purpose of the application is to alter the development standards as approved under site-specific zoning bylaw 1017-2022 for the 53-story mixed-use building by reducing the non-residential space and the number of short-term bicycle parking spaces required on site. There will be a total of 591 residential dwelling units on the site. This is currently under review of site plan control, and it's file number 21206-338 SDE 13SA. The committee had before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. 3 photographs of the subject property received March the 26th, 2025. A cover letter from the agent received June the 10th, 2025. Decision numbers A0674/23TEY and A1063/23TEY affecting the subject property. We also have presentation materials from the agent received July 25th, 2025. In addition, we have commenting agency reports and emails from community planning received on the 29th of April 2025, and transportation engineering services received July the 22nd, 2025, and a staff report from the community planning received July 22nd, 2025.
Through the chair, we have the agent here in person and no other speakers.
Thank you. I wonder if we could have your name and address and for both folks, please, and whoever's going to be speaking as well.
Sure thing. My name is Kel Vanderveen. I am from Bousfields, the planning consultant, the agent for the file. Our address is 3 Church Street, Toronto, Ontario.
Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Spencer Owen. I'm with Greywood Developments, the owner of the file at 200 King Street West.
Thank you. We don't have anybody in interest at all, so we don't necessarily need a presentation, but I'll ask my colleagues if they would like a presentation, maybe a brief one. None? No? You're all good? Okay. Good day. Thank you. I also don't have any questions for you at all, because I think it's very much a technical procedure and application that you have. You are aware that there's a planning condition attached?
Yes, we're aware of the conditions and we're in support of it.
Thank you. Okay, we'll take it into committee and render a decision. Thank you. Mr. Ghosh?
So I, just upon reviewing the variances, I had some concerns about reducing the non-residential, but when you read the full materials and understand why, to change the tenure of the building to rental and the need for a rental office, it all makes a lot of sense. So with the planning conditions as well, I think it's it meets the 4 tests, it's approvable, it's definitely desirable to have more purpose-built rental in a location like this, and to make it a good rental building, it needs the variance.
Thank you.
Sure, yeah, I'll make that a motion.
Motion, perfect.
Okay, I'll second with a comment. I just wanted to add that, first of all, the coffee lounge is a charming idea. And I think that will, despite the loss of retail, I think the coffee lounge will help animate the street in the way that, we would hope retail would. So I think it was a really good idea. And while, of course, loss of bicycle parking is a problem, I think the explanation was really very clear as to why it's necessary. So I'm happy to second that motion.
Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, there's 3 conditions imposed from community planning.
Yes,
Okay.
subject to all the planning conditions.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion to approve by Mr. Ghosh, seconded by Mr. Dillon Reed. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval, sir.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item number 3. Moving on to item number 3. Item number 3, the purpose of the application is to alter the existing, oops, I didn't mention the address, 21 GALLEY Avenue. The purpose is to alter the existing 2- and 1.5-story detached dwelling by constructing a rear 3rd floor addition and rear ground floor deck with stairs. The existing rear 1-story addition with stairs will be demolished. The committee had before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 5 photographs of the subject property received May the 6th.
Through the chair, we have the applicant agent online.
Right, wonderful, thank you.
Good morning, committee. Jonathan Benskowski, 301 Keewatin Avenue.
Good morning, Mr. Benchakowski, how are you?
I'm well, Mr. Chair. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I believe this is a very straightforward application. But let me just see if my colleagues have any need for a presentation or if they have questions for you. None? I see none. I see none. Wonderful. In that case, Ms. Benkovsky, I will take it into committee and render a decision.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Reed?
Thanks, Chair. I agree. I think this is a straightforward application, and the fact that it remains within the existing footprint, I think, is an important element of it. And so the impact of that additional rear wall height is lessened, and it also remains in line with the 2 adjacent neighbors. So I think the impacts of these variances are minor, and I move approval without condition.
Thank you very much. Seconder? Mr. Ghosh, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Benkovsky, you have your approval.
Thank you, committee. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Take care. And now moving on to item number 4. Moving on to item number 4. Item number 4 is 9 Dawson Avenue. Purpose of the application is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling with a covered front porch with stairs, a rear basement walkout, a rear ground floor deck, 3rd floor dormers, and a rear 3rd floor balcony. Also, to construct a new 1-story detached ancillary building, a 1-car garage with a rooftop deck in the rear yard abutting the laneway. Committee had before it copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. Revised site plan, floor plans, and elevations received July the 23rd. A red line public notice received July the 23rd, 2025. A revised zoning notice received July the 11th, 2025. 5 photographs of trees on the subject property received May the 12th, 2025. A covering letter from the agent received July 23rd, 2025, and presentation material from the agent July 21st, 2025. A red line public notice received July 25th, 2025. Revised site plan, floor plans, and elevations received July 2025. Covering letter from the agent received July 25th, 2025. We also have staff report from Urban Forestry received July the 23rd. And another one from Urban Forestry received July the 22nd, 2025. We also have a staff report from Community Planning received on the 24th of July, 2025. We also have correspondence in support from 74 Condor Avenue, received July 21st, 2025. 80 Condor received July 21st, 2025. And 10 Dawson Avenue received July 23rd, 2025. In addition, we also have correspondence from 50 Shudell Avenue received July 24th, 2025. We also have correspondence in opposition from 46 Shudell Avenue and 24 Shudell Avenue and 32 Shudell Avenue. First one received July 23rd, subsequent 24th of July, and the last one on the 28th of July.
Through the chair, we have the agent in person as well as online opposition speakers.
Thank you very much. Good morning. I wonder if you could have your name and address, please.
Yep. Good morning, committee members. My name is Luca Penzo. I'm the applicant and agent representing the owners of 9 Dawson Avenue, and my address is 1109 Queen Street East.
Thank you very much. Now, we do have a red-lined application, and there are lots of revisions that I just read out. Can we just go through all the variances and identify all the changes you've made?
Yeah. If you'd like, I can provide like a quick 1-minute summary of what all the changes were as we went through and redlined the notices. There's multiple red lines and...
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it might be easier just to go through each variance to delete whatever needs deleting, because I know there are about 3 or 4 variances that have to be removed.
5, yeah.
So we might do that first and then come back to what you might want to add.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So this is the original public notice that you have up on the screen. So variance number 1 is redlined.
And what are the changes there?
Dormer width. So we've reduced the width of the dormer to comply.
So if it's complying, that one can be deleted.
Deleted completely, number 1.
That's a deletion.
Number 2 remains as it is. The FSI is 1.0.
Okay. Number 3.
Number 3 remains as it is.
Okay.
This is for the eave projection of the main house. Number 4, we've redlined the percentage for rear yard softscaping twice. So original was 17%, then we increased to 25%. We heard from community planning, and then we increased to 33% and received their support.
So that one changes to 33.
33%, yeah.
Excellent, okay. And then we've got number 5.
Number 5, we reduced the width of the exterior stairs providing access to the home to 2 meters to comply.
So that one's deleted.
5 is deleted. Variance number 6 as well is deleted, the height of the main walls.
Excellent.
This was related to the dormer width and was why that was getting flagged.
Number
7 as well is deleted. We are removing the green roof deck from the garage.
Excellent.
That was due to some neighbors' concerns, and we've addressed them. Number 8 is remaining, which is for the area of the garage. Number 9 is deleted. We removed the garage roof projection towards the laneway and put a parapet wall to eliminate the need for this variance. And number 10, for the coverage of the garage, this variance remains.
Okay.
So in total, there will be 5 variances.
Are those all the changes that revisions were made?
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair. For the purpose of application, you're removing the rooftop deck above the garage?
Yeah, and we've submitted revised plans with the...
Okay, so then the purpose of application then will remove that mention of the rooftop deck, okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Terrific, thank you. Thank you. We probably need this presentation because I think we have 1 or 2 folks in opposition. A brief presentation, great, thank you.
Okay, I have a presentation materials that I'd submitted, if we can pull those up. Okay. So So we're proposing to construct a new 3-story single family dwelling and a detached garage. The original application, as we went through, contained 10 variances, and we've worked closely with the zoning department, city planning, and neighbors, reducing the total number of variances to 5. Go to the next slide, please. Only 2 of the requested variances relate to the main building itself, which are floor space index and roof eave projection. The remaining 3 variances are related to rear yard soft landscaping, the garage floor area, and the garage lot coverage. You can go to the next slide now. I'll speak to the 5 variances. So for floor space index, we're requesting an FSI of 1. This is due to the lot constraints, and we put forward a strong effort to remain within all height, depth, and setback regulations for the main building. We feel the design respects the neighborhood character, massing, and is consistent in scale with many recently approved developments, including 59 Condor, 6 Ravenna Crescent, 584 Jones Avenue, and 147 Hazelwood Avenue. If you compare our FSI, it is modest in comparison, and we believe the variance is minor. If you go to the next slide. The proposed roof eave projects 0.25 meters and sits 0.2 meters from the west lot line, while the bylaw requires 0.3 meters. We are not requesting any side yard setback variance, and the eaves are critical for proper roof drainage. This type of variance is very common in the neighborhood, and we've seen many approved at 0 meters from the lot line in multiple recent cases in conjunction with many other variances, such as 19 Dawson, 78 Shudell, and 126 Boltby Avenue. Next slide, please. This presentation was submitted before the last change removing the roof deck, so you'd have to go to the recently submitted revised plans to see the site plan for softscape, but the bylaw requires 50% soft landscaping in the rear yard, and we're proposing 33%. However, we are actually providing 61.47% of the actual landscaped area in the backyard because the garage counts under the bylaw as rear yard area, making our softscape percentage appear lower when you consider the actual landscaped area. Since removing the garage green roof, the rear yard landscaping for softscape is very significant, and the hardscape is only for a modest walkway from the garage. This is in line with many recent approvals noted that range from 0% to 38% soft landscaping. Next slide, please. This slide we can skip because we've removed the garage roof deck. The floor area at 46.48 meters squared, the garage slightly exceeds the minimum 40 meters squared maximum. Reducing it in length would prevent legal parking inside, and it is smaller than the adjacent garage neighbor to the east, which is 50.32 meters squared in size, as illustrated on the slide. Next slide. The lot coverage bylaw allows 10% based on the lot size, and this is not achievable to consider legal one-car parking. This is driven by the minimum size required for the usable single-car garage with some minimal space for additional storage. In the photos, you'll see what we're proposing minus the roof deck and the adjacent garage that I've referenced. And it's very similar in size and design. Next slide, please. To summarize, we've reduced our variances from 10 to 5. Only 2 variances relate to the main building. The garage is modest, functional, and smaller than others on the laneway. Our design is compatible with the neighborhood. We've made efforts to reduce the impact and improve the proposal. We respectfully submit that this application meets the 4 tests under the Planning Act and is minor in nature.
Thank you very much. Sure. We'll move on to the person is online, I take it? Okay. Thank you. So we'll just wait for the person to provide it. Before I ask you to leave, do my colleagues have any questions for the agent? No? Okay, thank you.
Hi, this is the Committee of Adjustment reaching out to this individual by the name of Stotch by phone. Mr. or Mrs. Stotch, you have been unmuted.
Good morning.
What is their address?
Mr. or Mrs. Stotch, you have been unmuted. You have been promoted to become a panelist, and you have full control. Perhaps double check your settings if you've muted from your own end. Again, this is calling by phone. Through the chair, perhaps we can move on to the next speaker while I will make another attempt to reach this individual. Sure, 1 second.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Mr. and Mrs. Stotch, I will give you a call again, okay? So please be on hold. Jennifer, you have been unmuted.
Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I wonder if you could state your name and address, please.
Yeah, my name's Jennifer Ballag, and I'm at 34 Shadell Avenue.
Thank you, Ms. Ballag. You've got 5 minutes if you'd like to make a presentation, please.
Sure. Yeah, so my stance on the plans for 9 Dawson have definitely softened since I wrote my original letter. Because as I understand, the applicants have made a bunch of modifications that address some of the feedback that's been submitted. So I will say initially I was mainly standing up with and for some of the neighbors who had concerns about the impact to their privacy due to the proposed garage rooftop terrace. And as the developer just explained, it looks like they've decided to remove that terrace, so that's fantastic. When I did review the plans, though, after looking at them a couple weeks ago, my main concern became the lack of soft landscaping. And it just seemed at the time like a lot of house, a lot of garage and stonework, and not a lot else. But last night I actually met and spoke to the applicant for the first time. She approached me on the street, and it was reassuring to know that it wasn't just another developer flip, which we've been having a lot of recently. And they do plan to work around the large tree in the backyard, which is fantastic. So it seems like the new plans that they're proposing are more considerate of their neighbors. And if the city does approve the variances, I just hope the applicants will give some more consideration to the environment. So instead of entertaining the idea of things like rooftop terraces, maybe instead they explore a green rooftop, which will help with stormwater management, things of that nature. And if the ground is going to be covered in stone, maybe considering things like permeable pavers that allow water to drain through and further reduce storm runoff, that kind of thing. You get the idea. So basically, that's all the feedback I have, and I appreciate the applicant finally reaching out to me yesterday to hear my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your input, and I'm glad you were able to hear all the changes that were being made, the revisions that are being made to this proposal. Thank you. Have we able to reach the next person?
Hello, Mr., Mrs., or Mrs. Stotch, you have been unmuted. So we see that you're online. Again, we're calling you by phone. We've unmuted you. You have full access. And again, you're a panelist for this item. So go ahead.
Mr. and Mrs. Storch, can you hear us?
If you are satisfied with your message, press 1. To listen to your
Chair, I
message,
think we'll
press
just
2.
move back to
To
the
erase
agent.
and re-record.
Thank you. Will we come back to? I'm not sure if there were any specific questions that the person had for you, but you might have heard something that I didn't, and you'd like to respond to her comments.
Yeah, I feel we've been able to review everybody that had concerns and what those concerns were, and we've had time to make changes already, so we've done that, and I feel comfortable moving forward and answering any questions that the committee members have.
Thank you. Let me see if my colleagues have any questions for you. Mr. Ghosh?
Have you reviewed the forestry advisory report?
No, so I don't think that's actually posted on the public file. I would just look this sitting in the chair and I didn't see it still posted. So
Okay, so maybe we can put it up on the screen.
Let's go through, because I have an arborist construction report here as well already.
So if we scroll down, so the tree in the rear yard, to maybe show these bullet points, the tree in the rear yard, they're saying our variances won't affect it. So it's not an issue for us in approving, but they're saying even if we approve, they might not grant, you'll have to apply for an application to injure the tree to move forward, and they might not grant that application if for the following reasons. So maybe just take a look at these bullet points. I think some of them were addressed by the changes to the plans, but some of them might not have been.
It's tough to read from.
Oh, sorry.
Is there any in relation to the stairs? Because the stairs have been removed going up to the roof.
Yeah, so the stairs going up to the roof, and so that seems to have been resolved.
Yeah.
But it also says the walkout basement stairs could be an issue.
Yeah.
It also says there may be a need to construct the garage with helical piles.
That's okay. We've
And it also says that there may need to be changes with the stone patio, which I know has been changed, but they might still want changes with the stone walkway that's proposed. So these are things that you'd have to work through with forestry, even if we approve.
I was kind of expecting a condition on urban forestry, and we've already worked with an arborist, the tree doctors. So they've already done an arborist report and protection plan, but it was based on the original design that had the stairs. They're in support of the application and will handle the permit process with urban forestry. So I think this was kind of to be expected. I was just surprised I didn't see it on the file. So I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Okay, no
Makes
concerns
sense.
working through all of that with
No concerns,
forestry after.
Yeah, we'll work with urban forestry.
Thank you. And I think that's the critical piece with them. Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Reid?
Thanks, Chair. The person who spoke online mentioned that permeable pavers might be a good solution. Would you be willing to do that for the rear yard paved areas?
Yeah, I discussed this with the owners as well, actually. They're open to this. It's not their ideal scenario if it was a condition tied to it, but they're open to it.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Reid. Yeah, I think that was a concern that sprang up for a number of us, the deficiency in soft landscaping, and one mitigating approach is permeable pavers. I think that would certainly help. Thank you. We'll take it into committee now and render decision.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Reid?
I was definitely worried about the garage, patio on top. I'm glad that got removed. Otherwise, I think this is pretty reasonable. I really appreciate that they, despite this very narrow lot, they have managed to meet the side yard setback and the length zoning. I think that's really important. And I think it shows a real attention to a fairly challenging lot. So I think I appreciate that. And I think that the two variances related to the main house are really minor and kind of inevitable. I think the garage, they make a fair point that it's actually smaller than neighboring garage. It's just sized for one car. It's not an unreasonable size. And a lot of the other variances simply come from the challenge of the lot. So I think that with the changes, this is very much a supportable one. I will note, so the planning condition currently, which is for the rear yard landscaping, cites the plans from July 23rd, but we need to change that to July 25th because the July 25th plans are the ones that don't have the patio on top of the rooftop on top of the garage. So just to note that when we add that condition, we need to make that slight adjustment.
Correct. Thank you. Oh, Mr. Reid, sorry.
I'm just wondering if we should maybe not include the planning condition, partly because of the urban forestry comments, and if those walkout stairs get flipped to the other side, right, the site plan may
That's a good
change.
point, yes.
And I think that the concern for planning was just to secure the 33%.
And it is
right?
secured because of the
revised.
Yeah, that's a good point. I agree.
Thanks.
Yeah, as long as the 33% is there. I must say, again, when I first saw this application and read through all the variances and so on, I thought, oh my goodness, there's a lot of issues. However, I think it's commendable that the agent and the owners, presumably together, have come up with so many revisions and listened to all the concerns and moved forward with a reasonable application. So I think this is a very supportable application. So can I ask for somebody to, Mr. Reid.
I'm happy to make a motion. I move that we approve these variances. I believe we still need to do forestry condition number 2, and with the condition that the rear paved portions be made with permeable pavers.
Correct, and it's an amended.
And yeah, very much is amended.
For you, Mr. Chair, then it'll be the patio walkway, right?
The patio walkway, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll specify that the patio walkway be made with permeable pavers.
Yeah, I think the other walkway, it's the stone patio which is already has permeability to it.
Yeah.
It's just one walkway down the middle of the backyard. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we just specified that the walkway be made with permeable pavers.
Thank you.
I'll second
Have a
that.
second? Thank you, Mr. Peter Reid. Thank you. We have Mr. Dylan Reid move to approve. Seconded by Mr. Peter Reid. All those in favor? You have your approval, sir.
Thank you, committee.
Thank you. Item number 5 is 404 Palmerston Boulevard. Purpose of the application is to alter the 3-story detached dwelling containing 3 dwelling units with a front covered porch, front basement walkout, rear ground floor patio, and partially covered rear third floor rooftop terrace on the roof of the 2nd floor below, currently under construction, by constructing a rear basement addition below the rear ground floor patio. Also to alter the 2-story ancillary building containing a 2-car garage and a 1 laneway suite, currently under construction as approved by minor variance application A0793/23 TEY by increasing the height and reducing the separation distance from the main dwelling. There will be a total of 4 residential dwelling units on the lot, 3 dwelling units within the main house, and 1 dwelling unit within the laneway suite. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. 5 photographs of the subject property received May the 9th, 2025. Covering letter from the agent received July the 16th, 2025. Decision number A0793/23 TEY affecting the subject property. Diagram of proposed permitted building depth and separation distance from separation distance received from the agent on July the 16th, 2025. A tree protection plan received July 16th, 2025. We also have 1 item of correspondence in opposition from 541 Euclid Avenue received July the 15th, 2025.
Through the chair, we have the agent online. No other speakers.
Hello, it's Michael Lafreniere here at 951 Ossington Avenue.
Sorry, I missed that. I was still flipping pages.
I apologize.
Good morning. Let me just say, we'll need do we have the person in opposition online? No. Okay. So we don't have anybody speaking. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you or require a presentation. Yeah, Mr. Reid.
But does anyone want a presentation?
Not a presentation. I have a question unless it's the same question.
Just a question. My understanding is you're not actually making any changes to the laneway suite. Is that correct?
That's correct.
The only reason this is triggered is because the increased depth that you're asking for in the basement triggers a couple of things, but you're not actually making changes to the laneway suite.
There's no changes to either building above grade. There's only the patio that already had foundations, so we wanted to.
Thank you. I might when we discuss, I might see if we can clarify the purpose of the application, because at the moment it's a little misleading, I think. Okay, thank you. That was my question. And so basically what you're asking for is just to expand the basement of the main building under the porch. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thanks. Oh, and I guess my second question would be, are you okay if we tie to site plans and elevations just to make sure that this only applies to the basement?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
That's great. No problem.
Mr. Ghosh?
My question, just because it wasn't evident from the plans, but large portions of which were blacked out, just is what is this additional space under the porch being used for in the basement?
It's a gym.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's one of these funny things where the depth in the backyard, by reducing the separation distance between the two buildings, also triggers the height of the laneway suite. So it's becomes kind of complicated in a way for something that seems reasonably uncomplicated.
I do have one quick question for you. The proposed changes that you're making, have they already begun?
The house is under construction, so that does have foundations there, yes. But it's framed right now.
So my question would be, would the purpose need to be changed to alter to permit, if it's already, the foundation's already there?
Well, it's a question of occupying the foundation. The foundation is there because we have a patio that we're going to clad in masonry, and so we don't want that patio to shift. So we do have a permit for the foundations as they stand. So the permit is that we're supposed to backfill the area under the patio with gravel. So we have not yet backfilled that patio with gravel, and we if this was rejected, then we could backfill that area with patio. That area underneath the patio with gravel, reasonably simply.
Thank you. Let me just ask, Madam Deputy Secretary, would this be something that, or am I just chasing a red herring?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I would leave the purpose as is.
As is. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? No? Then I'll look to committee member for a decision. Motion.
Can I just make, so in the purpose, it says to alter the two-story ancillary building, but in fact, the two-story ancillary building is not being altered. Can we remove that sentence?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I would ask questions about that because there's variances associated with that ancillary building.
Yeah, so we asked that question. They're not changing the ancillary building.
So then why are those variances being?
Because they're being triggered because of depth.
By the depth of the house.
Basement, yeah.
Because now it's too close to the ancillary building.
Right.
So that triggers a need for a variance, but there's
Right.
no actual changes to the ancillary building being made. The ancillary building is not being altered at all.
Because the zoning applicable to the ancillary
right.
building is affected by the separation distance to the
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
So I feel like in the purpose, it gives the impression that some changes are being made to the ancillary building, but it's
We
not.
can just say to maintain, also to maintain the two-story ancillary building.
Yes, that would be perfect.
Currently under construction as approved, and then we'll remove by increasing the height and reducing the separation distance. from the
Perfect. That would be excellent. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Sabrina. Okay.
Okay.
I'm happy to make a motion if.
Thank you, Mr. Reid.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to approve these variances with the purpose as amended, and tie it to site plans and elevations. I feel like this is a minor impact, and as the applicant said, they in fact had to build a foundation anyway. So I don't think it has really any impact. I think it's a harmless variance, so.
Okay, this would be as amended with the...
Yeah, so approve with the purpose as amended and with a condition to site plan elevations.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you, Mr. Gordon. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval, sir.
Mr. Chair, I'll recuse myself for this next item.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay. Moving on to item number 6. Item number 6 is 302 Lee Avenue. The purpose of the application is to alter the existing 2-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a rear 1-story addition, a sunroom, and a ground floor deck with stairs. The existing rear ground floor deck will be demolished. The committee had before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. Pardon me, 4 photographs of the subject property received May the 20th, 2025. A tree inventory plan prepared by the agent received on May the 20th, 2025.
Yeah, through you, Chair, we have the agent online, and there are no registered speakers for this item.
Thank you. Okay. Matt, are you there?
I am here.
Name and address, please.
So name is Matt Jackwitz. My address or the property address?
Your address.
So my address is 240 Viceroy Road in Vaughan, unit number 6.
Thank you. There's nobody in opposition, so we may or may not require a presentation. Let me just ask my colleagues if they have questions for you.
Sure.
Or
sure.
No. None? Okay. We'll take it into committee as we don't have any questions. I think it's a fairly straightforward application. You have 2 variances, which in my view both are minor. So we'll take it into committee, and I'll look for a motion. Mr. Reid?
Thanks, Chair. I'm happy to move this motion. It's a very straightforward application. It's just limited to 1 story, and I think that lessens its impact. And thanks to the applicant for the photos provided. It shows that this is really mimicking what the next door neighbors have, a sunroom in their off of the back. So I think it fits in well and has very little impact because of its 1-story nature, and the variances required for it are minor, so I move approval without condition.
Thank you, Mr. Peter Reid. Seconded by Mr. Dylan Reid, and all those in favor, thank you. You have your approval, sir. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Take care.
Phil didn't know to get yourself.
Oh. You didn't even have time to walk around the block. Okay. Moving on, we move on to item number 7, which is 104 Lauder Avenue. Purpose of the application is to alter the existing 2-story detached dwelling by enclosing the rear porch into habitable space. Committee had before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. Pardon me. 6 photos of trees on the subject property received May 26, 2025, and planning rationale received from the agent on May 20th, 2025.
Through you, Chair, we have the agent online, and there are no registered speakers for this item.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Simkovich, let me just see if we have any need for presentation or if there are any questions from my colleagues. We don't have anybody in opposition, so we don't automatically require presentation. I think this is a very straightforward application. You've got one variance. Any questions or need for presentation? Mr. Reid? Mr. Peter Reid has a question.
Thanks, Chair. I was just noticing on Street View, it seems like there's a structure protruding from the garage. Is that right, or am I reading that wrong?
Yeah, I think you're referring to a covered, we're not quite sure what that is. We recently purchased the house last September. This was part of the already existing. I think there was there was no permits for that. We don't necessarily intend to keep it. I'll be honest, I discovered that with this application. So we will remedy it at some point.
Okay, so your intention, because it's not showing in the site plan, so your intention will be to remove that portion?
Yes, it covers all the sun. So yeah, we don't intend to keep it. It was just not on top of the list, but if it needs to be addressed right away, then we'll move it on top of the list.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? No? We'll take it into committee and try and render a decision for you. Ms. Ghosh?
Sure. So this is a very small, straightforward variance to enclose the porch that already exists there with a second-story sunroom above it. So for that reason, I would move to approve it.
Sorry, thank you. Mr. Reid? I'll second. Thank you. Second. And seconded by Mr. Dylan Reid. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval, please, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Take
Have
care.
a good day.
Bye-bye. Now we move on to item number 8, which is 509 Palmerston Boulevard. The purpose of the application is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling, a 4-plex, a front porch with stairs, a Unit A entrance, a front 2nd-story balcony to be occupied by Unit A, a 3rd-story side north balcony to be occupied by Unit C, a rear ground floor walkout and stairs, that will be Unit D entrance, and a rear 3rd-story balcony to be occupied by Unit D. Also, there will be 3 parking spaces provided on the asphalt driveway in the rear yard. There will be a total of 4 residential dwelling units on this lot. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 4 photographs of the subject property and trees, received May 27, 2025. Planning rationale report, received from planning agent on July the 21st, 2025. A tree site plan prepared by the agent, received May 27th, 2025. We also have red line public notice, received July 28th. Revised site plan, floor plans, and elevations, received July 28th, 2025. Revised zoning waiver, received July 28th, 2025. Presentation materials, received from the agent on July 28th, 2025. We also have email correspondence from the assistant planner, city planning, received July 28th, 2025. We have one form letter in support signed by owners and occupants of 255 Grace Street, received on July the 21st, 2025. We also have correspondence in support from the following addresses: 308 Palmerston Avenue, 501 Palmerston Boulevard, 665 Euclid Avenue, 595 Euclid Avenue, Apartment 1, and then 601 Euclid Avenue, received on the 28th of July, all of them. 7 form letters in support signed by owners and occupants of 56179 Markham Street, 14 Sullivan Street, 132 Huron Street, and 148 Brunswick Avenue, received July 28th, 2025. We also have correspondence in concern from 21 Grenadier Height, received July 23rd, 2025. We have correspondence in opposition from 503 Palmerston Boulevard, received July 21st. Another piece of correspondence, no address provided, received July 22nd, 2025. 491 Palmerston Boulevard, received July 21st, 2025. 535 Palmerston Boulevard, received July 22nd, 2025. 503 Palmerston Boulevard, received July 22nd, 2025. 11 Christie Street, Unit 605, received July 22nd, 2025. 2930 Doan Avenue or Doan Avenue, Doan Road, received July 22nd, 2025. And correspondence from Allison Kirk Montgomery Palmerston Area Residents Association, no address provided, received July 23rd, 2025. More correspondence in opposition from 590 Bloor Street, received July 23rd. 513 Palmerston Boulevard, received July 23rd. 491 Palmerston Boulevard, received July 23rd. 514 Markham Street, received July 23rd. 446-602 Melita Crescent, received July 21st, 2025. 516 Palmerston Boulevard, received July 23rd, 2025. 503 Palmerston Boulevard, received July 21st, 2025. 527 Palmerston Boulevard, received July 22nd. 773 Manning Avenue, received July 22nd. 501 Palmerston Boulevard, received July 22nd. 530 Palmerston Boulevard, received July 22nd. 518 Markham Street, received July 22nd. 499 Palmerston Boulevard, received July 22nd. 452 Grace Street, received July 23rd. We also have materials in opposition from the solicitor on behalf of 505 and 513 Palmerston Boulevard, and similar materials by solicitors on behalf of owners of 505 and 513 Palmerston Boulevard. And finally, we have correspondence in opposition from 265 Clinton Street, received on July the 25th. After that, I think I need a sip of water.
Through you, Chair, we have the agent here in person, as well as a number of speakers in opposition that are in attendance.
Thank you very much. Bear with me 1 second while I get my paper in order. There we go. Mr. Saskin?
Mr. Ewens, actually.
Oh, sorry.
Saskin is the architect.
Get your name and address, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Greg Ewens from Pittori Planning and Management, here representing the owner of 509 Palmerston, 1550 Kingston Road, Suite 1345. I have a presentation.
Thank you. Before you go into a presentation, which we'll need today, I know there have been a lot of revisions, deletions, changes. If we could just go through that systematically and deal with that first so that everybody's aware of what changes have been made.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. There's a slide in my presentation which details them all, but you can see on the red line notice that you have in front of you, we have we received a lot of the correspondence that was submitted to the committee last week. We took a few days to read and digest that information and made a number of changes to the proposal to address the concerns that were raised, and that's reflected in the recently submitted materials. We've removed all parking from the rear yard. We have increased the landscaping in the rear yard significantly. That results in the removal of the variance for rear yard landscape space. Originally, we requested
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, sorry.
It would really help us if we just systematically went through. So I noticed there's a change, there's a deletion of a sentence in the purpose.
Yes, the deletion of the sentence in the purpose is to delete the reference to parking, as there is no longer any rear yard parking.
Okay, so that's the first change. Variance number 1, I believe, is deleted. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So variance number 1 is deleted.
Variance number 1 is deleted. It's a rear. We introduced an additional step back at the 3rd story of the rear of the building to remove the main wall variance for a multiplex.
Thank you. Variance number 2.
Variance number 2 remains. That's a side
Remains.
yard variance. Variance number 3 has been removed. That's the rear yard landscaping variance.
Thank you.
We've increased it from 41% to 69%.
Variance number 4.
Variance number 4 is similar to variance 2. It's also a side yard variance. It remains. And variance number 5, which is the maximum building depth variance, also remains.
And remain. Thank you. Your presentation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. If I can ask staff, thank you. If we can go next slide, please. The site's generally located on the east side of Palmerston Boulevard, south of Bloor Street. Next slide, please. It's an existing vacant detached 3-story fourplex with 2 2-bedroom units and 2 1-bedroom units, a rear garage, rear parking, and landscaped areas. Next slide, please. The site is near transit, a significant amount of transit and amenities, as you can see. Next slide. It's also within, it's in the neighborhood designation, but it's within the Bathurst Major Transit Station area designation as adopted by council and in the provincial planning statement, which intends transit supportive growth. Next slide, please. Next slide. The proposed development contains 4 3-bedroom rental units. It now has 0 vehicle parking spaces, 8 bike parking spaces, and retains the front portion of the existing house. Next slide, please. If we can move through the plans, actually. If you can go to slide 12, please. I'll talk about the variances themselves. We're requesting 3 variances, 2 regarding side yard setback of 0.45 meters for the house and for the front deck, and 2 for building depth from 19 to 22.43 meters. Next slide, please. First, the 2 side yard variances. I note that the proposed side yard depth is the same as the setback for the existing porch and the front portion of the building. This part of the building is being retained. The front portion and some of the north side of the building is being retained and incorporated. So that variance is led by that. Next slide, please. I note there are several variances that were granted by the committee in the area for less than a side yard setback that is being requested here. Next. I also note, importantly, and this is an excerpt from Bylaw 569/2013, that the bylaw permits a 0.45 meter side yard setback in this case. We need this variance because we have added 2 translucent openings to the south side, and that, because of this provision, increases the required side yard to 0.9. But if we didn't have those openings, it would be 0.45. Next slide, please. And you can see where those are on the elevation here. These are inset semi-transparent, translucent windows that are intended to provide ambient light into the units. If we removed these 2 windows, we would no longer require those 2 variances, though it would impact the livability of the units, in my view. Next slide, please. Regarding building depth, floors 1 and 2 have a depth of 22.43 meters. The 3rd floor has a depth of 20.9 meters. Because of the 3rd floor has a front and a rear yard setback, its actual depth is 19.2 meters, and the permitted depth for a multiplex is 19 meters. Next slide, please. A chart showing a sample of permitted building depths in the area through the committee process. Next slide, please. I also think this is important. Palmerston Avenue is characterized by many buildings with depths that are greater than the bylaw. The lots are quite deep as well, but between Bloor and Harvard, there are at least 28 buildings on Palmerston Boulevard with depths of greater than 20 meters, 8 of which have depths greater than 25 meters. Next slide, please. Now, there was a lot of correspondence submitted on this application. You can see a list of the changes we've made here. We have really tried to take community comments into consideration and make changes to improve the application. Next slide, please. One of those was regarding the number of windows facing north into the shared driveway. There were 25 windows in the initial submission. We've removed 9 of them. There are now 16 windows and no windows past the as-of-right depth of the building at the rear. Next slide, please. The rear yard landscaping has been improved. We no longer require a variance. We've added bike parking, 8 spaces, and added a solid waste storage enclosure as well in the backyard to respond to community comments. Next slide, please. Oh, I also note on the previous slide, there were 3 trees. They're not bylaw trees, they're not protected trees, but they weren't included in the original plan. We're maintaining them in the revised plan at the request of the adjacent neighbor. Next slide, please. There were concerns about access along the shared driveway. While this is a common condition for shared driveways, doors facing the common drive, we recessed those 2 entrances into the building so to provide an added level of safety at the request of the owners to the north. Next slide, please. Regarding the character of the community and the street which has come up, we're retaining, you can see there, the front portion of the building and the wraparound along the north. Next slide, please. And I'll wrap up quickly here. It's my view that the proposal meets a number of current city housing policy objectives and provincial ones as well, the provincial planning statement, the housing action plan, the EHON multiplex policies, specifically to deliver family-sized units, maintain tree canopy, and expand soft landscaping space. I'll just say in closing, we have no comments from staff apart from planning that has said they have no concerns. We've really taken the committee's comments to heart. We made some quick changes that I think meaningfully improve the project. I truly believe the community's comments and input have improved this application, and I think that is this process working as it should. The building reflects the character of buildings along Palmerston Boulevard. It is a street with deep buildings already, most of which are 3 stories and have multiple units in them, and this reflects this context in a way that is as sensitive to the surrounding community as it can be, while providing 3-bedroom rental units. In my view, the proposal meets the 4 tests and constitutes good planning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions. If not, they may hold them until later. Thank you. Don't mind if have a seat and we'll proceed. Thank you.
So through the chair, we do have a number of speakers in opposition. For the audience here that are in person today, we will be calling your address. So once the address called upon, please head up to the podium and again state your full name and address. So can we have Mr. David Riley?
Good morning. Name and address, please.
It's David Riley, SGL Planning and Design, 1547 Bloor Street West.
Thank you. Just before we begin, you've heard about the changes that have been made, so hopefully your presentation will take that into account as well. You have 5 minutes. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. So I'm here as a planner representing the owners of 505 and 513 Palmerston. So 505 is immediately to the south, 513 is immediately to the north. So these are both adjacent properties. I filed a letter with the Committee of Adjustment last week. Obviously, since then, we've received these updated plans, and we know about the reduced variances. The submission to get our comments was a week ago, so we did that. So we're reacting within 2 days here to the revised plans. But despite these changes, I've reviewed the updated proposal, and from my perspective, there's still some significant concerns, and you'll hear from my clients that there are still some concerns from their perspective as well. From a planning perspective in relation to the variances, these variances, they're the pathway through which the proposed building that's before you as designed would be permitted. And I do have some concerns about the configuration of the building and its resulting impact on both adjacent properties. Now, I want to be clear that this is not an objection to the fourplex. There's an existing fourplex there today. And more broadly, as Mr. Ewens mentioned, there is a really broad range of units within this neighborhood. The objection here that I'm speaking about is that the proposed fourplex as designed will have those significant impacts, adverse impacts on the immediately adjacent properties. So the proposed building, it more closely resembles, although it's a fourplex by definition, you can look at it almost like a townhouse block where it's turned sideways, where you have 4 units with ground-related access. The configuration results of 2 of those units, so the middle units, having direct access from the mutual driveway on the north side of the building. And as a result of these being middle units, the windows and doors have exclusive access from here. So to put this into context, right now, on the north wall of the existing building, there are 3 windows and 1 door. There's doors from the front and the back accessing the 4 units. This proposal is suggesting 16 windows plus 2 doors and a balcony, as well as the rear balcony, directly facing 513 Palmerston. This would have significant impacts with respect to overlook and privacy. It's as a result of the configuration. The mutual driveway in this case is treated like a frontage, a shared frontage. While this configuration might work in some cases, like on a flankage lot, for example, where the side yard might be another street, it's not appropriate, in my opinion, to have this on a shared driveway where you have such impacts on the adjacent dwelling. The proposed building completely alters that shared interface and fundamentally changes the function of the driveway, not just for 509, but also for 513. And the proposed configuration that I'm talking about is being facilitated by these variances, setbacks, depth, and that would create the adverse impacts. So I'll talk a little bit about the variances in my short time left. So we've got a prevailing pattern of side yards between and separation distance between dwellings here. So as it relates to the side yard setback, in my opinion, it's not consistent with that prevailing side yard setback. Yes, we've got an existing porch that matches that side yard setback, but that's not the same as extending that same setback 3 stories down a building, cumulative impact with the building depth variance being requested. That really changes the interface on the south side with 505 Palmerston in terms of access and all that. And the cumulative impact of reducing the setback with the increased building depth creates a significant change in massing from the current situation. It alters the side yard setback relationship of 509 with both dwellings, and the increased mass brought closer to 505 Palmerston will create some access issues and challenging for maintenance, quite frankly, likely on the subject property, without having to, of course, access 505 Palmerston to help with that access. So it's important to recognize the cumulative impact of both variances together. And as I outlined in my letter, the building that's proposed, it's much longer than other buildings in the immediate vicinity. And although 505 looks to be just as long, that's actually a deck, a 1-story deck that they have on the back, plus off a 1-story addition. So the tall portion of that dwelling is not right up to where this proposal is. So to wrap up my comments, the cumulative impact is adverse. It fails to meet the official plan policy 415, which really is about maintaining character, limiting adverse impacts on properties. And for these reasons, it's my opinion that the proposed variances are not appropriate and they should be refused.
Thank you. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you at this point. No? Thank you very much.
Can we please have the next speaker at 499 Palmerston Boulevard head up to the podium?
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you.
I wonder if we could, once you're settled, get your name and address, please.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble.
If we get your name and address, please.
Yes, my name is John Lucas, and I live at 499 Palmerston Boulevard.
Thank you. You have 5 minutes, sir.
Okay. I would like to speak to the issue of whether or not this project conforms to the City Council's general intent. I can think of 4 examples of how this project is very much at odds with that. Number 1, affordability. A major theme of City Council over the past few years has been to encourage and facilitate more affordable housing in Toronto. Council has been unequivocal about that, affordable. Toronto is being asked to make sacrifices to achieve affordable housing, We should not be asked to make sacrifices to create expensive, unaffordable housing. This project would destroy 4 affordable housing units and creates 4 expensive ones, which would be 2 or 3 times as expensive on a square foot basis. 2, appropriate land use. On June 20th, 1973, Council passed a resolution directing all city departments to protect and maintain the historic aspects of Palmerston Boulevard. 22 years ago, I led the fight to preserve our streetlights. The city made an error and assumed that the lights were unwanted, unprotected, and proposed to tear them out. It was a bit of an effort to correct this, but to the full credit of the city, they eventually did correct this mistake. The lights are there today, restored and enjoyed by the entire city. In 2002, the incoming mayor, David Miller, in his inaugural speech, articulated his support for the preservation of this street and for the support of the neighborhood, such as ours, to determine their own destiny. This was an extremely clear statement of the city's general intent. Council has had many opportunities to change its mind since then, and since passing the legislation in 1973, and has not done so. Therefore, we must conclude that Council's general intent is to preserve our street. This project would be an inappropriate land use, which would go against that. More recently, Kensington Market, a well-known neighborhood near Palmerston Boulevard, has its own heritage conservation district. It has this designation because, and I quote from the official document, Kensington Market is an important historic neighborhood with a unique identity and sense of place. Heritage conservation plays an integral role in city planning as a powerful values-based approach to city building. Palmerston Boulevard is all of that and more and should have its own heritage designation, and we would like the chance to bring this before City Council. If the Council decides against this, then we'll accept that. But if the Council is in favor of protecting our street, then we would expect developers to also abide by the City Council's decision. We would like that chance. Diversity. Is diversity within the general intent of Council? I submit very clearly that it is. Some people who live on our street get by on small incomes, and their housing options are very limited and diminishing all the time. Other residents are well off. They could live anywhere. We're all different, and we all get along. At least 90% of the time we do, which is a standard I wish the entire globe could match. We live on an historic street, which we happily share with the rest of the city, but it's not a museum. Palmerston Boulevard was created as a very exclusive development. Over the past 120 years, we, the residents, have changed that. We have achieved densification before that was even a word. We have evolved into an inclusive, diverse, well-functioning community. This diversity is wonderful and it's vulnerable. Who knows the motto of the City of Toronto? We've had it since 1835. The motto of the City of Toronto is diversity is our strength. We are a success at doing that and living that. The general intent of the Planning Act, our bylaws, and all acts of City Council follow that directive to promote this precious and delicate diversity, which is at the core of our identity as a city. Please don't take this away from us. This project may well be the first of many proposed demolitions which would destroy our street. It would not make the city better. In fact, it would exacerbate the city's existing problems. It would compromise the city's bylaws, increase rents, and absolutely dynamite the delicate, diverse social fabric that we love and work daily to maintain. Thank you for your consideration. Therefore, this project should not proceed.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you. Done? Thank you.
Through you, Chair, can we please have the next speaker at 513 Palmerston Boulevard?
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, welcome. If you don't mind, a name and address, please.
Yes, my name is Judith Wright, and I live with my husband at 513 Palmerston Boulevard. We are the owners.
Thank you. You have 5 minutes for your presentation.
Sure. We live north of 509 Palmerston, and we are the ones who share that becoming problematic mutual drive. I appreciate the opportunity today to address my significant concerns with the redevelopment at 509 Palmerston. As the applicant filed new plans a mere 48 hours ago, I will discuss ongoing concerns with the current plans. And thank you very much. Can you leave that schematic right up there right now? Because that's the one I'd like to use. The applicant we have spoken with the owner, the agent, and some of the changes that have been made have been due to our conversations. However, he still avoids addressing the primary source of all the zoning and legal issues we are objecting to, and that is variance 5, the depth of the building and its accompanying related south side setback, which widens it, and north side right-of-way setback planning requests, which I presume have been granted, but actually are an integral part of that widened depth. Together, these variances are not minor and create inappropriate use of the 509 site and an abuse of our neighbor rights. The proposed 4 vertical townhomes require double the square footage to replace an already affordable fourplex while creating many negative impacts. The inappropriate depth permanently reconfigures the rear yard areas, eliminating the 509 driveway and creating a narrow rear walkway that you can see it up there, there's going to be a narrow walkway to the property line, which is not meeting municipal code. There's going to be 12 to 24 people in this building using that walkway continually, and you'll notice it abuts our driveway, where we do have parking and driving and cars. Building over the 509 rear driveway also eliminates any access for service vehicles, such as moving vans and maintenance for accessing 3 or 4 units. These vehicles will be forced to encroach on our 513 rear property to block the right-of-way. We have been forced to retain legal counsel to rebut the applicant's continued encroachment on our property simply because his building plan is too big. The north side of 509 Palmerston between our houses is a deeded right-of-way that is continuously misrepresented on 509 plans as a walkway. It is a right-of-way driveway. Narrowing the right-of-way will impede our parking access, limit use by service and emergency vehicles, increase damage to cars and buildings, and it will be impassable in winter. And I speak from 40 years of shoveling the snow in that driveway. I know it will not work if we don't have the frontage we do now. 2 of the 4 townhomes will use the shared right-of-way as a secondary frontage facing our home, creating a misuse of the deeded right-of-way under the municipal code. The new plans show 2 front doorways, complete with planters faced on the right-of-way. While we're talking about that frontage, privacy. Privacy is subjective, but picture this. My 2.5-story home with a 30-foot wall that has been moved 3 feet closer to my property. It will have 16 or 25 windows, that's been talked about, it's 16 now, on 3 floors and a balcony looking down into our bathroom skylight. Windows will look into your bedrooms, indoor and backyard living space from 7 to 10 feet away. This is what the variance depth means in reality to me, and that is why I am very opposed to the depth. Unlike other houses in our area, the fourplex has units facing east, west, and north, causing misuse of the mutual right-of-way as frontage and significant privacy issues, as the planner has mentioned too. This multi-phase building with no rear service access is not appropriate for a property abutting a mutual driveway. As Mr. Riley stated, it would work if there was a corner lot or something. But with the driveway there, there's constant encroachment happening. We request refusal of these variances because they are not minor. They would allow inappropriate overbuilding on the site with a vertical design of multiple frontages that impact privacy and misuse of a deeded right-of-way and our property, are not in the general intent of right-of-way, driveway, and walkway zoning bylaws, and inappropriately abuse privacy and enjoyment rights of neighbors. We support the responsible development of multiplexes that respect neighbor property rights, affordability, and neighborhood character. 509 plans and variance requests do not fulfill this criteria.
Good wrap up.
Done.
Wonderful.
Thank you for giving me a few seconds.
Oh, no problem. Thank you very much. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions at this point. No? Thank you very much for your input.
Thank you.
Through you, Chair. The next speaker at 505 Palmerston Boulevard.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I wonder if you could get both your names and addresses, please, and if you're sharing your comments, 5 minutes in total. Thank you.
My name's Don Milady, and I live at 505 Palmerston Boulevard, where I am the co-owner with.
My name is Rolly Monsip, and I am the co-owner of 505 Palmerston Boulevard.
Thank you.
My letter, I am here.
Will you be sharing your 5 minutes, or?
No. I'll be presenting.
Okay.
Both will be available for questions.
Please go ahead. Thank you.
As I said, we are the immediate southern neighbors of the subject site. I'd like to start by mentioning that we are responding to changes in the proposal which were made available to us 36 hours before this meeting in a handwritten revision dropped through our mailbox on Monday evening. Although the applicant has had 48 weeks since the purchase of the property to collaborate with his neighbors, these last-minute changes represent lipstick on a pig. They do not address our concerns at all that 3 of the variances requested are not minor. They are major. They clearly nearly double the footprint and envelope of the building, and they do so at the expense of the neighbors' properties, using shared land to expand his profit. I remind the committee that if they are allowed, we neighbors have no options for appeal. The committee will be setting a precedent that will likely lead to legal entanglements between neighbors and probably the city. We ask that this application be rejected. Regarding variance 2, relating to requesting a side yard setback of 0.45 meters, the applicant proposes a nearly complete destruction of the current building. True, the front porch is being preserved. The proposed new building would extend approximately 3 feet closer to our property, to within 1 foot of the property line. For 120 years, there has been an approximately 8-foot passageway between our 2 houses, 4 feet on each property. It is a conventionally and legally recognized shared right-of-way. It has allowed easy passage of people and equipment to both rear yards, the maintenance of both houses, and the tidy and efficient storage of garbage by both owners. In our case, this is the only route of access to our rear yard. If this particular variance is allowed, the entire passage would be reduced to 4 feet. 4 feet would not allow any of those things. It is barely wide enough to pass a garbage bin, certainly not to store them. It would make maintenance of the side of both houses impossible. For example, it would require the applicant to use our property for routine maintenance of his house. In practice, it would require the applicant to use our property to build the house that encroaches on our right-of-way. Presumably, the applicant will mount HVAC equipment for 4 units in this passageway, creating a high level of machine noise in a confined space. This is not a minor variance. It is a land grab by the applicant that takes away a basic right for us, which has endured for 120 years, simply to maximize the size and profitability of the proposed house. Variance 1 and 5 relating to the rear rear wall height and relating to the depth of the building. While the last minute changes include the most minimal of setbacks on the rear wall, the cumulative effect of extending the proposed building up and back is not minor. It will go back well beyond the rear of all houses on our block and well above the height of all buildings on the street. In 2005, we proposed a modest one-story extension to our house extending 3 feet beyond the original house with no overlook issues. And at the time, we had generous support from our neighbors when we applied to the Committee of Adjustment. This proposed variance, for which the applicant has never approached us, will produce a sheer wall of black siding extending 30 feet up and 15 feet beyond our house and all neighboring houses. It will produce 9 windows and 1 door with direct overlook of our deck and rear yard. This proposal is not desirable or appropriate use of the land other than to maximize the building envelope and the owner's income. Surely the intent of the committee and the city's bylaws is not to take away valuable things from one neighbor and give valuable things to another, but that is what will be accomplished. While the variance relating to rear yard soft landscaping has largely been withdrawn, it's true that the last minute revision expands the percentage of green space in the rear yard. That's only after the significant reduction of the whole size of the rear yard by variance 5. While there is an area now for waste management, that seems conjectural and fanciful to us, given that the applicant's usual practice at most of his other rooming houses is to store all garbage bins on the city-owned public front yard. Given the applicant's record of non-compliance with the Committee of Adjustment requirements, you can ask us about 474 Palmerston Boulevard, it seems likely to us that the increased open space will turn into paved parking and lead to follow-up application for further laneway housing. The significant loss of landscaping is not minor. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, wonderful timing. Thank you very much. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions at this point. If not, nope, no questions. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Through you, Chair, can we please have the next speaker at 460 Palmerston Boulevard?
Hi, welcome. Could we get your name and address, please?
Robert Wheeler, 460 Palmerston Boulevard.
Thank you. Yeah, 5 minutes, sir.
I am a tenant on Palmerston Boulevard, and I am worried about being able to maintain affordable housing in the area. This proposal has made me very worried. On the question of whether or not and to what degree this project could be considered to be within the general intent of Toronto's official plan, there are very clear indications within the Act that bring us to the inevitable conclusion that this project would not be compliant with the plan. The plan in Section 2J calls for the adequate provision of a full range of housing, including affordable housing. No one doubts that there is an ample supply of expensive housing in Toronto, and the challenge is to protect the affordable housing and maintain the balance that the plan calls for. This project does not do that. In fact, it goes completely against this requirement of the official plan. There's already existing affordable housing on the street in some locations. This is diminishing that inventory of affordable housing. Removing that affordable housing for Palmerston will only increase the unaffordable and is not compliant with a full range of housing. The Planning Act defines what affordable housing means, and there is no way that this project is going to provide such accommodation. Although the existing structure does, the one that's proposed for demolition. The 509 Palmerston Boulevard property fourplex appears to be amendable in the future, if need be, if desired, to become something less desirable, which is a rooming house. It's abusive to tenants to say that you have to go live in a rooming house, that's all you can afford now. It's forcing them out of someone that has a private unit, that has their own kitchen, their own bathroom, to say that, well, you can only have one of those. And to age in place, and not to have the stress in later years when it comes to affordable housing, that a place may not be permanent or may not be for long. It can't be a privilege for a lucky few. And I do believe that to be the purpose and the intent of the provincial legislation that aims to build more housing in this province. This project proposes not townhouses for families, but a collection of what the Act refers to as dwelling homes. The average price right now associated, defined in the Act, are so the City of Toronto rent for a studio unit as reported annually by the CMHC. The thresholds for the associated 2025 rent levels are detailed in the Act, and the affordable range goes up to $1,164 a month for a room. The developer behind this proposal already operates similar buildings like these in the area, and in which the rents for just one room are well above that threshold. And an economic analysis of this project shows that in order to be economically viable, rents would have to be well in excess of the defined affordable levels. So no, demolishing affordable housing and replacing it with unaffordable housing is not consistent with the official plan, and therefore not within the general intent of the official plan and the bylaws of the council's intent. Therefore, I urge the committee to find that this project is not compliant with the general intent of the official plan, the bylaws, the will of the City Council, which has so often so clearly expressed the overarching need to create more affordable housing, not less. This application should not be granted.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you.
Any questions for this presenter? No? No. Thank you so much.
Through you, Chair, the next speaker at 503 Palmerston Boulevard.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Name and address, please.
Yes, my name is Maxine Sidran, and my address is 503 Palmerston Boulevard.
You have 5 minutes.
Okay. For over 25 years, I've been a tenant at 503 Palmerston, just 2 houses south of 509. I'm an older, single, self-employed, professional woman, and there is a growing number of us in Toronto. Finding affordable, safe, and quiet rental housing here is a challenge, but Palmerston Boulevard has provided all of that in a beautiful environment. However, if this application is approved, it will trigger a change in both the affordability and the personality of the street. The new rental units would go against the general intent of the official plan, which stresses the need for more affordable housing and the appropriate use of our housing stock. The cost of almost complete demolition and rebuilding would necessitate far more expensive rents in the new building. The 4 units that will be destroyed when 509 is almost completely demolished have rented for between $1,700 and $3,000 a month. Compare that with the units in a building at 474 Palmerston, which was recently taken over by the same developers, where units go for between $4,000 for a basement and $5,500. The 4-story pattern of the rebuild would make the units impossible choices for both older renters all those stairs. And families with small children, all those stairs. And they would be inappropriate and unaffordable for anyone wanting a space that is shared with no more than one other person. But they would be perfect for young single adults, like students, lots of them, as many as 8 per unit. The design appears to be more viable as a rooming house than a townhouse, which makes sense considering the street's proximity to the University of Toronto. Residents in the 2 middle units would be forced to enter and exit by way of a side walkway that was once a shared driveway. This is not a safe option for many of us. Units such as the one in which I now live, a simple 2 bedrooms on 1 floor, would become difficult to find on Palmerston, since allowing these changes would encourage a demolition trend that has already begun. Just 3 doors to the south of 509, an application has been made for the complete destruction of 501 Palmerston Boulevard, which is now a typical Edwardian structure with 3 units. The architectural firm for the rebuild would be the same as that for 509. Their website shows how foreign their designs are to the present vision of the street. If both applications were accepted, the face presented by this block of Palmerston Boulevard, famous for its unique architectural character, would give the impression of a prize fighter having suffered the loss of his 2 eye teeth. Saving an existing well-built, well-loved Edwardian house would be a very appropriate use of the land. It would fulfill Council's general intentions for the city and would not remove that most precious resource, affordable housing. The official plan was not meant to turn Toronto into a city of rooming houses. I encourage you to reject this.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Just before you leave, just wanted to see if anybody has any questions for you. None? Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Through you, Chair, to the audience, are there any other speakers that would like to head to the podium to discuss and speak about this item?
Do we have any other speakers in the audience? Looks like not yet.
We're seeing,
no, that's the agent.
Seeing none.
None. Do we have anybody online?
No.
No. Thank you. We'll get the agent back and have him respond to what he's heard.
Sorry, sir, I just wanted to grab a drink of
No
water.
problem, no
A few
problem.
things to say.
Thank you.
Okay. I want to start by saying that there were a lot of comments received on this application, and some of the ones have come up again in the deputations today. And we really did truly make an effort in a short amount of time that we had after reviewing those comments to make changes which address the ones that we felt were material to matters related to the 4 tests, related to concerns about privacy, impact, adjacency, landscaping, et cetera. I'll go through the topics that came up in the comments that were just registered. Regarding the layout of the units, the proposed layout is contemplated by the multiplex bylaw definition. It permits and contemplates units in horizontal and vertical arrangements. What you're seeing proposed here is something that I've started to see quite often, units that are have more bedrooms, have multiple floors, have separation of space in a different way, and they have proven to be quite desirable for families. If we had a building with a 19-meter depth and a 0.9-meter south setback that would comply with the bylaw, we could do the same unit. We wouldn't require any variances. Same unit layout. We wouldn't require any variances. I also note that the city just presented the multiplex monitoring bylaw, and they did not make any changes to the definition, despite being well aware of the fact that these are one of the prevailing and emerging types of multiplexes being designed. Regarding housing affordability, of course, affordability is an important issue in land use planning. The existing units, as I mentioned, are all vacant. They need renovations, and once they're renovated, would be rented out at market rate. The proposed new units would be rented out at market rate as well. The intent of EHON, the Expanding Housing Options in Neighborhoods work, which is the origin of the multiplex policies, is to provide market rental housing. That's in just about all of the reports on EHON. The existing units themselves do not provide affordable housing, they provide market housing. They are vacant, there is no continuation of rent that was there before into the new tenancies. It's a market housing proposal, which is the intent of multiplexes, and that's what happens as units turn over even when there isn't a variance application. Regarding the rooming house questions, I take a bit of an issue with the characterization of rooming houses as being an unfortunate use by one of the previous speakers. Rooming houses are an important piece in the continuum of housing. I also take issue with similar comments made about students. Students also need places to live, but this proposal is not a rooming house. It is not designed as one. The bedrooms do not have their own ensuite bathrooms or their own cooking areas. One of those two is necessary for this to be a rooming house. It can't be converted to that easily based on the floor plans, and it's not designed as such. Further, it's also a use that's permitted by the bylaw on this site. Regarding the diversity of unit mix, there are a considerable number of smaller rental units in the area, both within converted houses and within the, take the Honest Ed's rental development with about 900 rental units, the majority of which are 1 and 2 bedroom units. It's quite challenging to introduce new 3-bedroom rental units into the neighborhood. This is also one of the explicit intents of the multiplex OPA, to introduce family-sized housing. Regarding the setbacks, it was noted that access and maintenance issues appear with a 0.45 meter setback, but I will restate that the bylaw allows a 0.45 meter setback for walls without any openings. I can't see a 0.45 meter setback being inconsistent with the plan context when if we were to remove 2 of the windows, the only 2 translucent windows from the south side, we would not require a variance and that setback would be as of right. There's also 16-foot scaffolding which exists, which allows for maintenance of walls in that type of a space. It's very common. It's also a very common side yard setback. 0.9 is a very common dimension between houses in the city, shared across 2 lots. Regarding depth, the context on Palmerston, as I mentioned, is that of 3-story houses, many with multiple units, with depths in excess of the zoning requirements. I have a map in my presentation which shows that. It's also characterized by fairly deep properties that can support somewhat deeper buildings, as it already does, without an impact on the utility of rear yards. I note that the proposal provides a 15.7 meter rear yard setback, which is over twice the amount required by the bylaw. It removes the existing garage. It places solid waste in the back in an enclosure, provides bike parking, and provides a lot of softscape. The setback on the 3rd floor, the removal of windows beyond the as-of-right condition to the north, the maintenance of the 3 trees in the side yard facing north, and the access of the unit entrances all being recessed contributes to diminishing the impacts of building depth on the north property owner as they've raised them. There was also a mention about a deck on the south, and that's correct, but all the decks have screening to the north and south as shown on the plans. There was also a mention from one of the owners about the depth of the adjacent building. We've accounted for that in our presentation. There's a canopy over. Sir, I'd ask for maybe another minute or 2 just so I can clarify.
Certainly.
Thank you, sir. Regarding legal issues, one of the speakers mentioned legal rights. There are no further legal matters at issue here in our view. There are no encroachments onto the adjacent property needed for access or for construction. There is no, we've resolved that concern by removing parking into the rear yard. That was a concern, and we were happy to see that it was raised and we were able to address it by removing the parking, which creates other benefits. There's nothing preventing pedestrian access either in the 1 meter setback from the north wall to the property line or within the shared easement, because that's permitted. Nothing has changed there. Regarding privacy and overlook, toward the north, we've removed all the windows beyond the as-of-right depth. We've removed 9 windows facing north in their entirety, and we've recessed the accesses facing north. The proposal now facing north reflects effectively the same condition from window placement as would be permitted with an as-of-right 19-meter building with 2 to 4 units in it. We could have more windows actually in accordance with the OBC, but we've removed them. There are no windows past the as-of-right depth, so the impacts reflect that of an as-of-right development. My client has reached out to neighbors in several instances in the surrounding area. Again, I appreciate all the feedback and we've tried to respond to it as much as possible, but to suggest that there wasn't an effort to reach out, my understanding is that that is false. Regarding the character of Palmerston, and I'm almost done, Palmerston is a great street. There is no doubt about that. It has many great buildings that have been adapted and renovated and added to over the years to include more units, more bedrooms. And this is why my client feels it is important to maintain the front of the building face and part of the north wall. While the Heritage Conservation District in Kensington was mentioned, Palmerston is not. There is no heritage requirement on this site or within the general area. This is being done because my client, who doesn't live far away, wants to make sure that they're preserving the streetscape of Palmerston in a meaningful way. And I think it assists in meeting the intent of the policies regarding neighborhood character, frankly. Finally, the intent of the variances is to improve the livability of units within the building, create 3-bedroom family-size units in accordance with the multiplex policies, the housing action plan, to create new family rental stock in accordance with these policies, which is intended in neighborhoods across the city. It's also within a major transit station area, which does intend incrementally additional density, and that's what we're doing here, and I believe a very sensitive and context-responsive way. Again, I think that covers everything, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think given the interest and concerns that have been expressed, giving you the little extra time to explain and respond, I think was appropriate from my point of view.
Thank you, sir.
Let me just see if many of my colleagues have any concerns, questions for you. Mr. Ghosh?
So some of the changes made in response to comments in terms of windows, including the trees in the rear yard, I view those as improvements. If we were to approve the application, would you have a concern with us tying it to the north elevation and to site plan?
I do not have a concern with that, no. I could, my client is sitting behind me, and they're nodding. We'd be happy with that condition, yes.
Okay. Mr. Reid, any questions? Yeah. Mr. Reid?
Yeah, so one of the big concerns, as you know, is the sort of townhouse effect. I guess two things. I was wondering, like, can you speak a little bit to why that style was chosen as opposed to a more horizontal structure? And also, I mean, I can't help noticing that the middle, and I know this was brought up by some of the opponents in their writing, the middle ones really have very, small kitchens. It's hard to imagine those being functional for an actual family. I'm just wondering if you could speak to those concerns.
Certainly. So part of it is a market decision. I mean, to provide 3-bedroom units with separation on floors is something that I think is becoming attractive in these kinds of layouts. The multiplex bylaw specifically contemplates it. If you were to have a traditional layout where you had 1 unit on each floor and you wanted to provide direct access to each of the units from ground level, you'd still have to provide a series of staircases and other internal connections that would provide doors, whether they're all at the front, whether some are at the back or along the side. And so what this does is it actually helps improve the use of space within the building, because you'd have a lot of these staircases, especially, for a building with a depth of 19 or 22 meters, in order to get that. One of the things, and I suspect the committee's seeing this as well, is that a lot of multiplex projects are trying to provide direct access to units. That's something I've seen in just about all the projects that have come across my desk, and I think it's a good thing. That's part of the reason for the layout here. It would be tricky to do that on individual floors and provide an efficient use of space. And generally speaking, they're desirable. I live in a house with staircases. I've got 2 young kids, and we navigate it. And I like the separation of space, so they're upstairs when they're in bed. So.
And what about the kitchens? I mean, they're a little vestigial.
The kitchen, I mean, I'd have to talk to the architect about that. I don't see the kitchens don't look generally smaller. I'm looking at the floor plan here, I believe, on the first level, than what you would typically find in a similar 3-bedroom unit, whether it's in a multi-unit building, a condominium, apartment building, or a townhouse. You've got counter space, oven. When I look at kitchen layouts, and I get concerned about the way they're set up, it's the ones that don't have any counter space. They have a 3/4 fridge and they have a convection oven built into the cabinets, and that's not the case here. There's more going on. We could take that back and see if we can adjust the layouts inside to improve the kitchen space. I'm happy to take that back to my client.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much for your input. We'll take it into committee now, and
Thank you, sir. Thank you, committee.
come up with a response. So, if maybe I'll start off with just some observations and comments of my own. Palmerston, as a very young student, I did some census work along Palmerston. So it's a lovely street. So the question of heritage and historic value that has come up frequently. I think I concur with the agent in the sense that heritage has not weighed in. So heritage has not indicated at all about the historic value at this point in time. I do have one concern, and that is the depth. As of right, 19 meters, but the request is for 22.43. However, I weigh that against the fact that this is going to be, there are 4 3-bedroom units, which is very unusual. We've seen a lot of 3-plexes and 4-plexes, but not an entire structure with 3-bedroom units, and that's lacking in the city for sure. I am concerned by the impact that the resident and owner of 513 Palmerston, who shares the driveway, has expressed. I think that resonates with me. So I think those are some of my thoughts. And the other piece is that I have to consider the fact that we've got some changes in place. We have 3 variances in front of us. And the variance, to me, that's of greatest concern is the depth. Outside of that, I think this is almost as of right. So I think those are just my thoughts, and throw them out at you. Mr. Ghosh, please.
Yeah, so I have a lot of thoughts about this one, because a lot of thoughts and concerns and issues have been raised by the public, and also just the nature of it. It is a little more unique compared to the multiplex applications we've been seeing. I think, I would thank the members of the public that are here for their presentations. I think they were helpful, they were thoughtful, and they were good engagements. If we look at the variances that are left, they're not that large. I'm less concerned by the length variance. I think there are a lot of, is it length or is it depth? But there are a lot of similarly, let's see, it's, its depth. Yeah, there are a lot of similarly deep houses in the area. It is a very deep plot. The depth variance created a condition that made this application, in my mind, unapprovable until it was amended, and that had to do with the use of the right-of-ways. I think what was raised about the right-of-ways, if there was going to be parking in the rear yard, it was going to be impossible to get the car there without going beyond the right-of-way. But with that change, the depth no longer creates an unworkable condition, in my view. The setback on the south side, bringing it closer to the neighbors who gave a deputation, I concede that it will have an impact on them, but it comes back to whether or not that impact is minor, and I think the impact is minor. I think the agent also has helped with their explanation. It's not going further than the existing porch, and also that if there weren't the translucent windows, there would be no variance. And so, I think the translucent windows make the house more livable. Palmerston is a street that I'm familiar with as well. I think a lot of people are, and that's what a lot of the letters also spoke to. If it were up to me, I think it should probably be a heritage conservation district. So I would encourage those that want to advocate for that to advocate for it, but it's not. So we're here to consider the variances alone. I believe the townhouse configuration is interesting. I think it gives a diversity of types of units in the city. It does permit the 3-bedroom use. It's just a continuation of the evolution of the street. It will have an impact on the neighbor to the north, the change in use of that right-of-way, but the right-of-way legally would permit pedestrians in and out, and I think the impact on the whole is minor. So I view it as a supportable application.
Thank you, Mr. Ghosh. Any other comments, Mr. Reid?
Sure, I'll add a couple points. I do think that the changes that were made really have improved this proposal. Ideally, these would have been made earlier on in the process to provide people more time to internalize them and respond to them. But I do think that there have been meaningful changes. And not to repeat Phil's points, but the right-of-way issue was a legal problem, and that's being resolved. But it does come down, I think, to one meaningful variance, and that's the depth. The other two are quite minor, in my opinion. And what's being proposed is very large, right? It's going to be, it's going to have an impact. People's lives are going to be different, but I think the question is, if that additional 3 meters, what's the cumulative impact of that, and the additional impact over what's allowed as of right? And I don't think it's going to be a huge difference. That delta, I think, is relatively small. And part of that reason is, I think these are large lots on Palmerston, right? They're quite wide and very deep. And so, and there is a pattern of longer buildings in this area. Additionally, that step back on the third story is relatively small, but I think that has made a material change to the impact at the visual kind of bulk of the back. But yeah, all that said, I think I agree with Phil that I think this is a supportable application.
Mr. Reid?
Start off, I agree with the first speaker, the planner, who said that he didn't think that this townhouse model was really appropriate except on corner lots. And we have seen some corner lots, and I've been happy to accept it there. I feel like in this situation, this is not, like, it basically is creating a frontage on the side, and that's not really that's not really what the city is envisioning, I don't think, and I don't feel like it's really a very desirable way of developing the neighborhood. Having said that, though, the variances in front of us don't really reflect that. The windows are allowed, those entrances are allowed as of right. So that's not really what we are discussing, and I don't agree that the variances in question really speak to that. I think it's not a great design in this particular location, but that's not really what we're speaking to. What we're speaking to is the variances specifically. And I think that the last minute changes that the agent has introduced have removed the key opposition issues. It was clearly not supportable before. It clearly impeded on the neighbor's rights. It clearly, was a misuse of the rear yard. The way it's being revised has addressed those issues, the crucial opposition issues, I think. I gather that the privacy screens are included in the plans, so that's important as well. Definitely the step back on the third floor and both the front and the back contributes is important to keeping it in line. So I'm not super enthusiastic about this, but I don't feel like there's any grounds for refusing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Perhaps I'll look. Thank you for all the Mr. Ghosh.
Sorry. So I will make a motion to approve this. I don't see any forestry conditions, but I would like to tie it to the revised plans with respect to, and although I only asked for the north elevation before, I think it needs to be all the elevations to make sure that those south windows stay translucent. So to the elevations and site plan.
As amended, right?
As amended.
As amended. Thank you. Thank you. Second, Mr. Reid, thank you. We have a motion to approve, moved by Mr. Ghosh, seconded by Mr. Peter Reid, as amended with condition, the only conditions tied to all elevations and site plan, and as amended. Have I got that all, I think?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, it'll be the plans dated July 28th as received.
July 28th, thank you.
Thank you.
All those in favor? Thank you. We have your approvals. Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, perhaps the committee can take a 10-minute break? 10-minute break?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
definitely not getting an early lunch today. Okay, so we've got 9 more. Oh no, there's 2 deferrals.
Yes.
Oh, so maybe we'll be on time. Oh yeah. Opposition for that one.
Go. And welcome back. We're at item number 9, 1170 Craven Road. Purpose of this application is to alter the existing 2 1/2 story townhouse dwelling by enclosing the rear second-level porch into habitable space. This application comes with one variance requested. Committee had before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 1 photo of trees on the subject property, received May 28th, 2025. We have a cover letter from the owner, received July 23rd, 2025, and we have 3 items of correspondence in support from 213, 215, 217 Parkmount Road, all received July 23rd. Okay.
Through the chair, we have the agent in person, and there are no registered speakers for this item.
Wonderful, thank you. Welcome, good morning. Oh, sorry, good afternoon.
Thank you.
Could get your names and addresses, please?
Yes, my name is Claudio Perez and
Ken Rankin.
Thank you.
And our address is 1170 Craven Road. We're the owners.
Thank you. Let me just, I don't think we need a presentation. You've got a single variance in front of us. It's the smallest one today, I think. Let me just see if, and there's nobody in opposition, so we don't need that, but perhaps a question or nothing at all? Lucky day. Thank you. So perhaps we'll take it into committee and render a decision. Colleagues? Oh, Mr. Reid?
Thanks, Chair. I'm happy to move this. This is an extremely small proposal, and I see that in the same townhouse complex, this has been done at least a couple times, and I think it's a completely reasonable change to the property with 0 impact on the neighbors. So I'll move approval without condition.
Thank you. Seconder? Mr. Reid? Thank you. Seconded by Mr. Dylan Reid. All those in favor? Thank you. You have approval, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay. So now we move on. Moving on to item number 10. Number 10, 69 Oak Park Avenue. The purpose of this application is to construct a 2-story ancillary building containing 1 garden suite in the rear yard of the property. There will be a total of 2 residential dwelling units on this lot, 1 dwelling unit occupying the main dwelling and 1 dwelling unit occupying the ancillary building. the existing sheds will be demolished. The committee had before it a copy of planner survey, site plans, floor plans, and elevations, 5 photographs of trees on the subject property received June the 4th, 2025, and June the 20th, 2025. 3 photographs of trees on the subject property, no date. Covering letter from Mr. Nanavati, the agent, received May 27th, 2025. We also have staff report from Urban Forestry, received July 23rd, 2025, and correspondence in opposition. No name provided. The address is 71 Oak Park Avenue, received July the 22nd, 2025, and an additional item of correspondence in opposition from 67 Oak Park Avenue, received July 24th, 2025.
Through you, Chair, we have the agent online, and we have an opposition speaker in person as well.
Thank you.
Sorry, and through you, Mr. Chair, I'm just going to ask the presenter under the very late materials, there is presentation materials. If you can just put that up so that the agent can speak to this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nanavati. Are you there?
Yes, thank you so much. My name is Shahid Nanavati, and the address is 1304 Woodbine Avenue, Toronto.
Thank you. We do have some folks in opposition, so we'll require a presentation, please.
Yes, please. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to sincerely apologize to the committee and to the 3 immediate neighbors of this property. In my earlier letter to the committee, I stated that the neighbors supported the proposal. This was based on my client's understanding from earlier informal conversations. However, after my submission, further discussions between the client and the neighbors revealed some concerns that I was not aware of. I deeply regret the premature statement and respectfully ask for your understanding and the neighbors' forgiveness as well. In response to those concerns and with the client's approval, we have revised a proposal to leave the required zoning setbacks all 3 sides of the garden suites. North and south, we give them as much as the zoning requires, that is 2 feet 6 inches. And on the east side, that is the rear side, the 5 feet that the zoning wants us to give them. These changes bring the proposal into compliance, and we are therefore withdrawing variances 3 and 4.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nanavati. Sorry, just to, before you move on, let me just get those 2 items out of the way. So it's variance number 3 that you're deleting, and
Yes.
variance number 4 that you're deleting.
Yes, sir.
And so all we have before us is the landscaping variance, variance number 1, and the rear yard setback. Are those the only 2 changes being made?
No, sir. So I'll carry on with my presentation, and it will give you an additional variance over here, which I will have to bring in, because to give that 5-foot setback over there at the back, I need to move the garden suite 1 meter towards the principal main building, and that now creates a small variance over there. So I have given a waiver, or I'm requesting for a waiver for that. So I'll continue with my presentation, and you'll get those notes there. Okay.
Sorry, just for my own understanding, are you adding another variance?
Yes, sir. I'm adding another variance.
So just hold on a second, please. I think that may be an issue.
Yes, I understand that too.
Just hold on a second.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I believe that Mr. Nanavati knows that it's an automatic deferral so that new notices can be circulated. So
Yes.
that's what he'll be requesting for today.
So perhaps, Mr. Nanavati, at this point, rather than proceeding with any other presentation information, you might just be requesting a deferral.
Right, sure. I'm definitely going to request that. But for the speaker that is coming up and for the opposition that is there, I would like to bring it to their notice that we are working with them on this particular thing with all the other variances, happily supporting their requests over here. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you so very much. Let me just get to the speakers and get their input as far as the deferral request is concerned. Pardon me.
So can we please have the speaker at 67 Oak Park Avenue come up to the podium?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So you'll have to explain to me what it is that just
happened.
Transpired before I start speaking, please.
Okay. If I can just get your name and address
Yes.
first, please.
My name is Richard Mendonça. I reside at 67 Oak Park Avenue, Toronto.
So essentially what has happened is that the agent has, apart from making changes to the existing variances that he was requesting, they're adding an additional one. But the additional one, I don't think you're aware of it. None of us are aware of it. So what he'll have to do, and I believe this will have to be reposted.
Okay.
So at this point, as my colleague, Secretary Treasurer indicated, this is an automatic deferral. So this matter will be deferred for a subsequent date when Mr. Nanavati will come back and request approval.
So there will be another hearing.
There'll be another hearing at a later date. I apologize to you for your having to be here, but hopefully it's cooler here than outside.
Well, I'll refrain from making remarks today, and I'll wait to see
Absolutely.
the submission. So thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. Yes, certainly. Of the agent. Mr. Nanavati?
Yes, sir.
We have a question from Mr. Dylan Reed for you.
Yes, please.
Hi, yes. I was looking over the existing plans, and this might be something you want to consider as you revise them. The existing plans, there's no paved pathway that goes there's a short paved pathway at the door to the suite, but it doesn't actually meet anything. So there's no indication of how someone is supposed to walk on a paved pathway from that little section to, the front or to the main building or anything like that. And I think that will impact the landscaping variance. So I'm just hoping that when you bring back a new plan, that you will address that issue as well. There needs to be some otherwise we're going to have to assume that there will be some paving that's not indicated in the plan. So I think we'd like to make sure that all planning, any paving is indicated and addressed in the.
Right. Absolutely.
Thank you.
We'll just go back and do we have any other folks in opposition? Just the one. Wonderful. Thank you. Do we need to take a vote on this one, Madam Secretary Treasurer? Yeah, okay. So moving to committee and look for a motion, please. Mr. Ghosh, thank you.
I move to defer this to enable the agent to submit his revised application and have the correct zoning notice sent out.
And maybe consult with the.
And to consult with the neighbors.
Yeah.
Mr. Reid, second. Yeah. And Mr. Dylan Reid, seconds. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Nanavati, you've got your deferral. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. And now moving on to item number 11. Item number 11 is 8-18. good to go? Thank you. Okay, sorry about the technical issues. The gods, what can we do? Let me just see if we have any questions or we need a presentation from you. Please.
Well, I think there was some amendments being proposed, if we could go through those. Is that right?
Yeah, could we maybe pull up a red line, or the red line version of the public notice? So these were mostly like redundancies and errors that we caught after the public notice went out. I'll go through them individually. I think the notice itself would kind of go through it in more detail if you're able to pull that up on the screen.
I don't think
through the chair, did you submit a red line notice?
Yep.
I think it's with the main collection. Oh, the supplemental. Yeah, it's D1 in the original package.
There we go. Yeah, so in I, we have building maintenance units crossed out. This is actually included in III. In II, we have chimneys and vents, solar panels, unrelated equipment, and roof access crossed out because this is mentioned in I.
Almost avoiding repetition, I take it.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you. Do we need a short presentation, a quick one? Nothing? Okay. Everybody's happy? Okay. Okay. Lucky day again. Thank you. We'll take it into committee and render a decision. Mr. Reid?
I'm happy to move something because I used to live on Camden Street, just down the street from this, although this was certainly not there when I was there. This is really, it seems basically technical. It doesn't have any impact. It's just a different set of things that can be built to the same height as is already allowed for other things. So I think this is really, really minor, and I'm happy to move a motion to approve it.
Thank you. Seconder? Thank you, Mr. Reid. Peter Reid seconds. All those in favor? Thank you. I believe it's as amended.
As amended, yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Take care. Okay. We move on to item number 12, which is 193 Rankin Crescent. Purpose of the application to alter the existing 3-story semi-detached dwelling by enclosing the rear 3rd-story rooftop deck. We have before us 3 variances, and the committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans and elevations, 2 photographs of the subject property received June the 11th, 2025, site-specific zoning bylaw 46-2000 affecting the subject property, and we have support, a 4 signatures petition in support from the owners of and occupants of properties on 189, 191, 194, and 195 Rankin Crescent, received July the 14th, 2025.
Yeah, through you, Chair, we have the agent online, and there are no registered speakers for this item.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is James Chevelle. I am from Siouxland Architects. We are the agent for the owners. Our address is 2 Northview Terrace, Toronto, Ontario.
Thank you so very much. Mr. Chevelle, we don't have anybody in opposition, so we don't need a presentation from that perspective, but let me ask my colleagues if they have any questions or require presentation. I see none. Wonderful. We'll take it into committee now and render a decision.
Thank you.
Hi, Phil. Go ahead.
There are 3 variances, but they all really pertain to the same thing, which is just enclosing the rear 3rd floor deck into interior habitable space. The only neighbor comments are petitions in support. I think it's kind of interesting in that for this part of Toronto, it's a relatively newer development, about 20 years old, it looks like. But this might be one of the first changes to one of these units, but it's part of the sort of starting the ordinary evolution of neighborhoods as it relates to these townhomes. I think the 3 changes are quite minor. The impact of enclosing the spaces is minor, and I would move to approve it.
Thank you. Second, Mr. Reid. Thank you. Mr. Dillon Reid seconds. All those in favor? Thank you.
Sorry, which Mr. Reid seconded?
Dillon Reid.
Was Peter? Oh, it was me? Okay. Wasn't
Thank
sure.
you.
Might have beat me to the...
You have your approval, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And we move on to item number 13. Item number 13 is 173 Craven Road. Purpose of the application is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling with a front covered porch with stairs, a rear ground floor deck, a rear basement walkout, and a rear 3rd floor balcony with a canopy. Committee had before it copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. 2 photographs of trees on the subject property received June the 4th, 2025. 19 photographs of trees on the subject property received June the 11th, 2025. A covering letter from the agent, Mr. Nanavati, on May 27th. Arborist's report received July the 22nd. Tree protection plan received June the 11th. And covering letter from an agent received July 24th, 2025. And we also have a staff report from, Urban Forestry received July 23rd, 2025.
Through the chair, we do have the agent online, and there are no other registered speakers.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Chair and panel members. My name is Alessia Sopelsa. I am the agent, and my address is 12 Paulson Road.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much. We don't have anybody in opposition, so we don't need a require presentation from that point of view, but let me just see if my colleagues have any need for presentation or have any questions for you. None? I see none. Okay. Mr. Pelser will take it into committee and see if we can render a decision.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Reid, Mr. Dillon Reid.
Yeah, I'm happy to take this one. I mean, I was actually very impressed by this proposal. It's a challenging lot. It's very small, but they actually, I think, are improving the side yard setback, which is great on one side. And you know, they've made an effort to slope the front back a bit to reduce the impact. You know, and although there's a lot of variances, they're all fairly minor, and most of them relate to decks and porches, and are just basically continuation of the existing line. So I think the overall impact is minor, and I move that we approve these variances with forestry conditions number 2 and 3. Oh yeah, and the rear 3rd floor balcony is actually inset, and there's no objections from the neighbors, so I don't think we need to put privacy screens.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'd like to move approval of these variances with forestry conditions number 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Peter Reid, thank you.
I'll second it, but just with a comment. I wanted to say thank you for the cover letter. It was very helpful in understanding the proposal.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All those in favor? Mr. Pelser, you have your approval.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
We move on to item 16, as the previous two were deferred. Item 16 is 27 Grosvenor Street and 26 Grenville Street. The purpose of the application is to alter the development standards for the previously approved 32-story and 46-story two-tower mixed-use purpose-built rental development with 30% affordable dwelling units and a childcare center approved under site-specific zoning bylaw 1096-2021 by redistributing the building heights to 33 and 41 stories, increasing podium setbacks, reducing street wall heights, reducing the size of podium to create two separate buildings connected only below grade, decreasing the amount of indoor amenity space, reducing the number of 2 or more bedroom units, eliminating the resident and non-residential parking requirements, and decreasing the amount of residential visitor spaces. Site control application 19 and 127521 SDE 13 SA is under review. And we have, the committee had before it, copy of site, a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 9 photographs of the subject property received June the 9th, 2025, a cover letter from the agent received June the 9th, 2025, decision number A0881/24TY affecting the subject property, parking memo, parking memo received on June the 9th, 2025, planning and rationale letter received July the 3rd, 2025, presentation materials received from the agent on July the 23rd, a service memo received on June the 9th, 2025, sun and shadow studies prepared by Mike Draw received on July the 2nd, 2025, site-specific zoning bylaw 1096-2021 affecting the subject property. And we have email correspondence from Transportation Engineering received July 21st, 2025, and a staff report from Community Planning received on July the 24th, 2025. We also have support correspondence in support from Mike Collins Williams, chair of the Board of Directors of Muraro Condominiums, received July 21st, 2025.
Through you, Chair, we do have the agent here in person, and there are no other registered speakers at this time.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Is it Mr. Retz?
No, Mr.
Oh, sorry, I've got to flip a page or two.
It's
sorry, Mr. Draw.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Mike Drawer. I'm a partner and land use planner at Bousfields, and my address is 3 Church Street, Suite 200, Toronto.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome. Let me just see if my colleagues require a presentation at all, even if it's a minimal. I think it was an interesting one. I was wondering about this. It almost seems like a swap, if I read the materials correctly.
A little bit of a swap. There's a bit of a change in terms of the building heights, a bit of right sizing of the two towers, and the elimination of the large podium that was initially approved, the original application, which was up to 9 and 11 stories. So slimming that down to single-story podiums, breaking up the two towers into two separate towers that are only connected below grade, and then adding one story to the north tower within the same, or more or less the same building envelope, while reducing the height of the northerly tower from 46 to 41 stories. And with that change, still maintaining the same, approximately the same number of overall purpose-built rental dwelling units, and actually increasing slightly the number of affordable purpose-built rental units from 231 to 233.
Interesting. Mr. Reid, it looks like you have a question.
I have some questions. I don't think we can
do as well.
Okay.
And Mr.
I mean, I think one of the more significant changes is the reduction in amenity space. I was wondering if you could explain why that's happening.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Through the chair, the main rationale for that is that initially, as part of the original application, there was a fitness center proposed as part of the amenity space, which would have been publicly accessible and privately owned, but would have counted as part of the amenity space. That has now been removed, so all of the amenity that's left will be for the residents and only for the residents. So, and you can see through chair again, in the planning report, they're asking for a condition. Planning is to essentially not allow that permission to use the fitness center as amenity space, which we're very comfortable with. We have eliminated that from the proposal. And essentially it's that reduction in the fitness center, which has left the 2 square meters overall of amenity space, while maintaining the originally approved 0.85 square meters of outdoor.
Okay, thanks. That's very helpful. I think the other notable one is obviously the significant reduction in larger units, and I think I understand why that's happened, but maybe for the record you could explain.
For sure. So the reduction, and again through the chair, the reduction is only to the 2-bedroom percentage. So the amount of 3 bedrooms at 12%, which is in the bylaw, is being maintained and actually exceeded by the proposal. The reduction in the 2-bedroom is to find a way to get this project, which is a very important project with an affordable housing component, out of the ground. So there is a reduction to the 2 bedrooms, but as discussed with community planning staff, the proposal will continue to meet the downtown secondary plan unit mix requirements by actually providing additional knockout panels, such that with the knockout panels, if they were used, the building would meet at least the downtown secondary plan requirements for both 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom, any additional 2 or 3-bedroom units. So the resulting rates, if those were used, would be, I have the stats handy somewhere, would be 24% 2 bedrooms and 16% 3 bedrooms, whereas currently, if they're not used, it's about 16% 3 bedrooms and 20% 2 bedrooms. What I will mention as well, though, is that the affordable units actually have different percentages, which are set out in the draft amendments to the Section 37 agreement, which is going to go to council hopefully in October. And those requirements are a minimum of 20% 3 bedrooms for the affordable units again, and a minimum of 40% for the 2-bedroom units.
Okay, so just to make sure I understand. So first of all, it sounds like a higher proportion of the 2 and 3-bedroom units are going to be affordable than the other ones. Is that correct? Like yeah.
Yeah, I'll phrase it through the chair. I'll just phrase it as it's a larger proportion of the affordable units would be larger bedrooms.
Right.
That's right.
Okay, that's great. And then I assume that part of the reason for the reduction is because you have less space, so you're trying to keep the same number of units, which I think you're keeping almost exactly the same number of units. It's just that they have to be smaller because you've actually shrunk the footprint of the building.
Through the chair, that's correct, and I think no building is able to avoid the pitfalls of the current housing market, and this is a way to make this project work from my client's perspective, while still providing for a significant number of 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom units.
And thanks to the knockout panels, you can adapt to whatever the market's requiring. So if there is a demand for larger units, you can actually meet that.
Through the chair, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Did you have any questions?
Yes. So one of the changes is to separate the towers at the podium. Is it intended to proceed with one tower then another now?
Through the chair, the intent is still to build the 2 buildings in one phase. They may be slightly offset in terms of when one begins and the other begins, but the intent is still to build them together and get as much of the affordable housing online at once.
Okay, and is the affordable housing separated as between the towers, or is it all in one tower, not in the other?
It is in one tower, but again, both of them are intended to go at the same time.
Okay. And how many affordable units, and what's the length of tenure?
Through the chair, the number of affordable units is 233, so a little bit more than 30% of the total number of units. And there's also a requirement, I should mention, in the section 37 for not only 30% of the units, but 30% of the GFA. So it's both those conditions have to be met. In terms of the length, I don't have that answer immediately handy, but I could find it if you give me a quick second. Or perhaps my client who is coming over can confirm it for me. It is 99 years.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? No? Okay.
Is the building a 100% rental, or is it?
Through the chair, it's 100% rental.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bear with us while we go into committee and render a decision for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Colleagues, Mr. Reid?
Start with some comments. I think overall this is, I mean, obviously I was concerned a little bit about the reduction in larger units and about the reduction in amenity space, but I feel like the explanations have been clear. And I feel like overall this is actually a significant improvement on the proposal. It's much cleaner. I really appreciate the open public space now between the two that creates the cut through. I think that's a huge improvement. Often if it's closed, people don't really realize it is public space. It's going to be much clearer now, I think. And I feel like it's a significant improvement. So, and like I said, I think that the explanation for the reduction in, I also really like the knockout proposal. I feel like that will, if there is a demand for larger units, but I think there actually will be, that can be met. So I think this is very supportable and definitely an improvement overall, even if there's a couple of things that are, you know, not quite as good as they used to be.
Any other comments?
I almost take a different view. I am not that pleased with the changes. I think reducing the size of the bedrooms. The size of the units and reducing the percentage of the 2-bedroom units is a significant change, and potentially one when you're talking about this many units. So maybe if we can go to page 5, if staff can pull up page 5 of the planning rationale letter. There's a proposal statistics diagram that I think is sort of quite helpful in sort of showing it. So from 343 2-bedrooms down to 154, from 12 studios up to 158, it's a very large change to the composition of this building and who's going to live there and how it's going to be used. That is necessitated by the reduction in GFA, although the reduction of GFA could also have just reduced the number of units overall. If that's what market demand required. I also am concerned that the changes are to allow one tower to be built before the other, and that's going to result in the tower that has no affordable units being built before the tower that has affordable units. That being said, the percentage of affordability, the fact that it's all rental tenure, and the length of the affordability, 99 years is kind of like the gold standard. Give me pause, because maybe these variances are what they need to be able to proceed on what, from an affordable housing perspective, is desirable. So those are sort of my concerns. Mr. Reid?
Yeah, I understand those concerns. I mean, I was quite surprised seeing the number of 2-bedroom units that were removed, right? But this is also, it's one of the first ones we've seen where they're proposing about 8,000 square meters less than they're approved for, right? Like usually we're seeing it the other way. And so I think this is really reflecting a proposal in this market. And I think to that point of getting these affordable housing units built, that this is probably required. And so, yeah, I think I would prefer to see more two-bedroom units in it, but I think that it's maybe more, this is the situation now. I do like the built form. I think having the two towers not connected by the podium is something we don't usually see in Toronto, and I think it's actually more elegant and creates a better open space. So I understand your points, Phil, and I kind of agree, but I'm going to be supporting it too.
I'm just going to come out of committee for a second. I have a question for the agent, related somewhat to what we're talking about. You mentioned knockout panels. Now, I'm assuming from what I understand of it is that you could take a one-bedroom or a studio, for example, and there's a panel between that and then a unit next door. You knock it out, it turns it into 2 bedrooms or a larger space. Is that correct understanding?
Through you, Mr. Chair, the intent here is to combine one or studio units into 2 bedrooms. So the increase would be to the 2-bedroom number and then for the percentage of those units. So the intent was to get to that minimum 40% 2 and 3-bedroom units with 16% threes and 24% twos, should there be that market demand for them. But again, there is as well the requirement in the Section 37 for a large proportion of the affordable units to be, again, 40% at a minimum to be 2-bedroom and 20% at a minimum to be 3-bedroom. If I can respond to one other thing, just another point from one of the panelists. In terms of the sequencing of construction, there is in the Section 37 the requirement that the affordable units be built at the same time. So while there may be a delay in terms of the construction or when one starts, they are going to be constructed essentially at the same time as well. So there is no intention of the market units coming on first and then the affordable units following. They will be built and finalized at the same time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll come back into committee. Any other questions or concerns? I'll look for a motion, perhaps. Mr. Reid?
I will move to, for the reasons discussed by myself and my colleagues, to approve these variances with the planning condition.
Thank you. I'll second that. Mr. Reid, thank you. Mr. Peter Reid seconds. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item.
Sorry, can we just move back? There was a planning condition. Did we want to include that?
I did.
It was.
Oh, you did? Oh, I just missed it. Thank you.
I did say what.
Thank you. Okay, item number 17 is 209 Carlton Street. Purpose of the application is to alter the existing 3-story semi-detached building currently vacant and with the front and rear portion of the building abutting Dr. O Lane, attached below grade, by converting it to a mixed-use building, a service hub for the indigenous community, with 4 dwelling units and community and office space on the basement, first and second floors by constructing front and side west basement additions, an enlarged ground floor terrace at the west portion of the building, 3 new dormers at the rear portion of the second floor, and a rear second floor balcony at the east portion of the building. There will be a total of 4 residential units within the building. The committee had before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 3 photographs of the subject property received May 27, 2025, a cover letter from the agent received May 27, 2025, agent email correspondence with Heritage received June the 19th, 2025, Heritage memorandum received on May 27th, 2025, and we have commenting agency reports from engineering received July 22nd, and we also have staff reports from Heritage Planning received July 22nd, 2025. And an executive director, Housing Secretariat, received July 23rd, 2025. We also have one item of correspondence in support from 374 Berkeley Street, received July the 9th, 2025.
Through you, Chair, we do have the agent here in person, and there are no other registered speakers for this item.
Sorry, and through you, Mr. Chair, I'm just going to ask the presenter to present under the very late materials. There's a revised heritage staff report. It was received July 28th. So if the committee is to find merit to approve, that it'd be based on this revised memo. It's just a change in the wording of the condition. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome, and name and address, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Felicity Campbell. I'm a planner at SVN Architects and Planners. Our address is 110 Adelaide Street East.
Thank you. We don't have anybody in opposition, so we don't need a presentation from that perspective, but I'm just wondering if my colleagues require any presentations. None? Any questions? None? Oh my goodness. I do want to just add that I think it's a very commendable project. Reading about it, I thought, perfect. It's excellent.
Oh, sorry, I do have one.
Oh, one question. Mr. Ghosh.
You're aware of the heritage condition and don't envision any issues with that being placed on approval?
Yes, we're aware, and we've been working with heritage staff, and we're willing to resolve those issues.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take it into committee and come forth with a decision. Peter, thank you.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, this is a good proposal and a good application package that shows the really small physical changes being contemplated to this site, which is a pretty complicated compound as it stands, right? And of course, as the Chair said, this is a very commendable use, and I think that the changes that are being proposed are all internalized well in terms of kind of avoiding any external impacts. And even though the variance list looks long, these are all quite minor, I believe. So I move approval of the application subject to the heritage condition.
Thank you. Mr. Ghosh, seconds?
I second, and I'd just like to also make a comment. I think this was highly approvable and would have been approved regardless, but in case anyone from the Housing Secretariat is watching, I did appreciate receiving their letter, so I'd encourage them to keep commenting.
Wonderful, thank you.
Can I also add just how great it is that it's actually a house that has an Indigenous history angle with Dr. O, and it's great to see that kind of being brought back.
Excellent point. Thank you. Okay, we have did we have we have moved?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Good afternoon.
Take care. And moving on to item number 18. Item number 18 is 14 Lippincott Street. Purpose of the application is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling with front and rear basements, walkouts, with stairs, a front porch with stairs, a rear ground floor deck with stairs, and second and third floor rear balconies. Committee had before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 4 photos of the subject property received June the 10th, staff report from Urban Forestry received July 23rd, email correspondence from Engineering, Transportation Engineering received July 24th, 2025. And
Through the Chair, we do have the agent online, and there are no registered speakers for this item.
Here. Good afternoon, Mr. Muir.
Hello, committee members.
Hi, good
My
afternoon.
name is Mike.
Name and address, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Yeah, my name's Mike Muir. I'm at 228 White Cliff Lane in Oakville, and I'm the agent on behalf of
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you or if they require a presentation. If not, we'll take it into committee and come forth with a decision. No questions? No, okay. This has been a very straightforward application. You have two variances, both of which are minor. So we'll take it into committee and come forth with a decision. Do we have a motion on the floor? Mr. Reid, thank you.
Sure, Chair, I can. It's really surprising to see a new build with so minimal variances, right? I think there's been really great restraint shown by the applicant. And the variances are kind of as small as they can get and create no undue impact. So I'm happy to move approval of this, subject to urban forestry condition 2 and 3.
Thank you. Do we have a second? I think it's just 3.
Just 3? Okay, sorry.
Just 3.
Just 3.
Just 3.
Thank you. Mr. Ghosh, seconds?
I was also going to, well, I just can't help but remark this is a 1 centimeter variance to the height. 1 centimeter.
I know. I could remove that.
But yes,
Seconding.
Yeah.
Thank you. All those in favor? Thank you very much. You have your approval, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great afternoon.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And with that, we conclude morning session.
Yes, we'll be back at 2 p.m.
Whoa, exactly at 1. Thank you.